Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
The primeval continent was home to countless races. The Lin family, in particular, is one of the most outstanding among them and is one of the most powerful imperial clans on the entire primitive continent. 10,000 years ago, the Lin family produced an unparalleled emperor, leaving behind countless treasures. Relying on the legacy left by the great emperor, the Lin family has always prospered and never declined. The entire ancestral land of the Lin family is shrouded in ethereal mist and clouds, resembling a fairyland on Earth. He converses with learned scholars and has no dealings with the uncultured. It was at its peak of prosperity. However, the Lin family's ancestral land was in chaos at this time, with panicked clansmen fleeing everywhere. Clan leader, Emperor Hongyu, is attacking. The three saints are severely injured and unconscious. The envoy sent was beheaded. The clan's protective formation is also about to collapse. Chieftain, what should we do? The crowd gathered in the main hall, anxiously asking Lin Tianhong, the clan leader, questions. Lin Tianhong frowned, stroked his beard, and looked tired on his wrinkled face. The great emperor is the strongest being under the stars. No one expected that this Emperor Hongyu would actually target the Lin family, and so swiftly at that. Wise. Lin Tianhong sighed deeply. Behind Lin Tianhong stood a pretty young girl with exquisitely beautiful features, her eyes sparkling with life. Her shimmering dress, like a cloud, swirled around her slender figure, its elegant folds revealing her captivating curves. However, a layer of sorrow lingered between the girl's pretty brows. The sound of the great Tao could be heard from afar. Hand over the reincarnated witch and I might spare the Lin family. Otherwise, the Lin family will be destroyed today. It's the Emperor's voice. Even across thousands of miles, the sound can still be transmitted. How terrifying. Upon hearing this, everyone was taken aback at first, and then their expressions became somewhat complicated. All eyes turned to the girl behind clan leader Lin Tianhong. The reincarnated witch that Emperor Hongyu spoke of was none other than the girl behind clan chief Lin Tianhong. Hand her over and the entire Lin family will be spared. Snort. Lin Tianhong stomped his foot and coldly snorted, "My daughter, Lin Tianhong's daughter, even the great emperor cannot take away." At that moment a hoarse voice suddenly rang out. "Chieftain, please consider the well-being of everyone." Who? Lin Tianhong was shocked and furious. As soon as he finished speaking, a tall, burly figure stepped out from the crowd, staring coldly at Lin Tianhong. "Third brother Lin Tianzheng, why are you spreading such heretical rumors as an elder of the clan?" Lin Tianzheng sneered, "Spreading rumors? Heh, brother, it's you who's spreading rumors by protecting the reincarnation of the witch." "Nonsense. She is my daughter, Lin Tianhong's daughter. What kind of witch reincarnation is this? Ridiculous." Lin Tianhong shouted angrily. The girl looked somber, biting her lower lip lightly, a lingering sorrow pervading her delicate brows. Boom! Another loud bang came from afar. Everyone looked on in horror, and a servant stumbled in, kowtowing and crying, "Clan chief, the clan's protective formation has failed. The last line of defense has collapsed. The emperor is on his way." What? Everyone's face turned deathly pale. The current emperor is the strongest being in the world and no one can rival him. Even the Lin family, an imperial clan with a rich history dating back 100,000 years, would tremble before the wrath of the great emperor. Not good. The emperor is almost here. Lin Tianzheng roared, "Brother, are you going to make us all die with this witch?" "Third brother, Zinner is still your niece, how can you say such a thing?" As they spoke, the emperor's oppressive aura drew ever closer. Lin Tianhong gritted his teeth and ordered, "Everyone, follow me into the ancestral tomb." What? This statement shocked many people. The ancestral tombs are forbidden grounds within the clan. They must not be opened unless the Lin family faces a life-or-death crisis. Now it's a matter of life and death. Despite everyone's objections, Lin Tianhong led the group to the ancestral tomb immediately. Although Lin Tianzheng was very reluctant, seeing that no one said anything, he had no choice but to go along as well. The tomb of the Azure Emperor is 100,000 years old. It is said that the tomb is full of traps and mechanisms so powerful that even an emperor would have to struggle to escape if he were trapped inside. The group hurriedly arrived at the cemetery. The massive tomb entrance stood on the earth, its entire body made of bronze, seemingly indestructible. Touching them, one can feel the power of some kind of law contained within these two doors. Lin Tianhong took a deep breath and stepped forward respectfully, saying, "Today is a matter of life and death for the Lin family. Your Majesty, please do not blame us." He slashed his wrist with a dagger. Sizzle! A large amount of blood spurted out and splashed onto the bronze stone door. "Father!" The girl exclaimed. The ancestral precepts say that to open the ancestral tomb, one must use the blood essence of a direct descendant. The bronze stone door, which had been closed for 100,000 years, slid open slowly to both sides with a heavy, thunderous sound, carrying the weight of history. "It's open." "That's an imperial tomb. Won't there be anything ominous in the tomb?" Everyone was on edge, knowing that opening the imperial tomb would violate ancestral rules, but at this moment they couldn't worry about that anymore. But no one knows what they will face next. Everyone held their breath. But just then, a burst of wild laughter suddenly came from behind the door. "Ha ha ha ha. 9,999 years. Lin Xian have finally emerged." A figure, laughing wildly, leaped out from behind the door and appeared before everyone. Everyone froze, staring blankly at the figure behind the stone door. That was none other than a tall and handsome young man. He had thick, jet-black hair, a pair of bright, piercing eyes, and a refined, elegant appearance. His features were distinct, like a meticulously sculpted work of art, and his angular face was exceptionally handsome. So handsome. Many women in the clan spoke up instinctively. He immediately shut his mouth. Even so, their eyes couldn't help but linger on the young man. His eyes held a mixture of curiosity, surprise, and doubt. 97 points are stirring. This person, who exactly is it? Why is he so handsome? Lin Tianhong frowned slightly, about to ask a question. Sudden, an immense pressure descended from the sky like a stone pressing down on everyone's hearts. It's the Emperor. Emperor Hongyu has arrived. Everyone turned their heads in alarm to see a dignified figure walking on air with his hands behind his back, strolling towards them. Behind him, countless stars shone and faded, the laws of the great Tao intertwined, and strange phenomena of the heavens rose and fell. He is the great emperor of this era, the strongest being under the stars, Emperor Hongyu. Hand over the witch and the Lin family will be spared. Emperor Hongyu gazed intently down below, his expression cold. This is your last chance, don't make me repeat myself. Thump. Lin Tian immediately knelt down and cried out, Your Majesty, we have no intention of being enemies. Please allow your Majesty to deal with that witch as you see fit. Please spare the Lin family. Fool! You've completely disgraced the Lin family. Lin Tianhong said with disappointment, You're such a disappointment. Lin Tianzheng scoffed, Face, what do you care about face when you're about to lose your life? Emperor Hongyu glanced over and spotted Lin Wangxin hiding behind Lin Tianhong. So the witch was here, very well, come and die. Don't even think about it. Lin Tianhong gritted her teeth and stood in front of Lin Wangxin. Anyone who wants to hurt my daughter will have to get past me first. You're asking for it. Emperor Hongyu sneered. He gently raised his hand. In an instant, the laws of the great Tao permeated the air and boundless power gathered within it, as if the stars and the sea were rising and falling here and the sky was collapsing. Boom! Lin Tianhong was sent flying backward, crashing into the bronze stone door. Pua! He coughed up a mouthful of blood which splattered onto the stone gate. Everyone was shocked by what they saw. You must know that Lin Tianhong is a dignified half-saint, yet he couldn't even withstand a casual strike from a great emperor. How terrifying, father. Lin Wangxin's face paled, and 2 lines of tears rolled down her cheeks. What an overestimation of their abilities. Emperor Hongyu sneered. He was about to reach out and grab Lin Wangxin, but just then, a figure suddenly appeared beside Emperor Hongyu and firmly gripped his wrist. What? Emperor Hongyu was stunned. Everyone turned to look, only to see that the young man who had been standing nearby had somehow ended up next to the emperor. Hey, you little brat. Lin Xian composed himself for a moment, then reprimanded. It's wrong for a grown man like you to bully a woman. You should have some manners, don't be so petty, understand? Ugh. Not only Emperor Hongyu but everyone was stunned, everyone was stunned. It feels like a standoff between police and criminals, a battle of wits over a hostage when suddenly a passerby jumps out and says, "Could you please pause for a moment? You're blocking my way." How absurd, Emperor Hongyu was furious. You also want to plead for the witch is doomed today, not even a god can save her. I, Emperor Hongyu, have declared it. Emperor Hongyu. I don't know her at all. This girl's mind's on my side today, so keep talking and I'll beat you up. Lin Xian said calmly, holy crap, everyone was stunned. Who should we beat up? Emperor Hongyu, are you crazy? Even if the Qingshuan emperor from 100,000 years ago were to be resurrected, he still wouldn't be able to defeat the current emperor. The great emperor appears once every 10,000 years, and once he appears, he is invincible for 10,000 years. Blessed by the laws of the heavens and protected by the Tao of heaven, he is the strongest being under the stars. No one can break this rule. Lin Wangxin stared blankly at Lin Xian, finding the whole scene utterly absurd. Emperor Hongyu's face darkened instantly. Where did this brat come from, daring to spout such nonsense? Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. Don't push your luck, I'm playing along with you, so you're just being polite. Arrogant. Emperor Hongyu was enraged, and the heavens and earth changed color as if the sky had fallen. Boom! In the blink of an eye, lightning roared and dark clouds gathered. HMPH kid, you've angered me. Since this is the Lin family's attitude, then let the entire Lin family be buried with the reincarnated witch. Emperor Hongyu spoke in a resounding voice. Lin Tianzhang and the others were terrified and immediately knelt down, kowtowing and pleading, "Your Majesty, please see the truth. This person has absolutely no connection to us, absolutely no connection." Many members of the clan cast angry glances their way. How could a noble imperial family kneel and kowtow to others? That's utterly shameful. However, Emperor Hongyu turned a deaf ear, stirring up the winds and clouds and conjuring up countless laws of the great Tao just like a god. Destroy! He shouted and swung his palm downwards. This palm strike, it blotted out the sky and blocked out the sun. The entire sky darkened as if the heavens had fallen. The Tao principles in his palm shimmered like stars fading, possessing an indescribable mystery, completion. Despair welled up in everyone's hearts. A wrathful strike from a contemporary emperor would be enough to make even a resurrected ancient emperor lie back down in submission. Lin Xian sighed, it seems we have no choice but to fight. He clenched his fist and aimed it at the figure in the sky that was surrounded by billions of stars. Take this, diamond dust. The group looked at each other in bewilderment. Diamond dust? What? Never heard of it. The next moment, Lin Xian suddenly threw a punch at the figure in the sky. There are no fancy spiritual energies, no extremely mysterious laws. Only the gust of wind created when the fist is thrown. Boom. Everyone heard a loud bang. The enormous, sky-covering hand descended, colliding with the force of the fist. A terrifying scene unfolded. The giant hand that had extinguished countless stars shattered instantly, bursting like a fragile soap bubble, but the force of the fist continued unabated as it attacked Emperor Hongyu. Even Emperor Hongyu was dumbfounded. In that brief moment of hesitation, he was struck head-on by the force of the punch. What? No, that's impossible. He was horrified to discover that his imperial body, forged from countless Tao principles, remained imperishable and indestructible despite enduring countless tribulations. At this moment it shattered into pieces. Emperor Hongyu roared miserably, "Impossible. That's absolutely impossible. I am the heavenly emperor, I shall suppress all enemies in the world." He fought desperately, gathering his strength to resist the force of the punch. However, it was all in vain. As the wind howled from his fists, his imperial body gradually shattered and his voice grew fainter and fainter until only despair remained. A moment later, the dust settled. The sky, which had been filled with torrential rain and wind, was now clear and cloudless, and the endless starlight that had once covered the sky had vanished. Where is the emperor? Dead. Everyone was stunned. One punch killed the emperor of the era. Who would believe that? But the reality is right in front of us, we can't deny it. Everyone stared blankly at Lin Xian. Who exactly is it? However, Lin Xian, who was the center of attention, paid no attention to it at all. He looked at the system in front of him, beep. Kill grants 9,999,999,999,999. Level 1 right arrow max. Congratulations, host, on reaching the maximum level. Reward max level gift pack. Lin Xian was stunned. Is that all? He is a time traveler. In his previous life, he was a Huxia corporate slave who suffered oppression. After waiting for more than 20 years, he finally got a chance to start over, but a bolt of lightning struck him and transported him to another world. When I first transmigrated, beep, successfully bound to the ultimate daily check-in system. Check-in status. The cheat code arrived instantly, and Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh out loud. Destroy the holy sons of all the major sects. He's going to capture all sorts of holy maidens to warm his bed. A grand ambition and dominance are within reach. He was overjoyed and immediately started checking in. Beep. Successfully checked in at the tomb of the Azure Emperor. Attribute points plus 100. After signing in, Lin Xian realized that he was in a cemetery, surrounded by a gloomy and eerie atmosphere. He was so frightened that he ran away on the spot. However, beep. Host's strength detected as too weak. Leaving the starting village rashly may result in death. Please continue to improve your strength, host. Lin Xian was completely stunned. Newbie village? There was no old man giving out quests, no blacksmith delivering swords, and no girl with maxed out affection at the start. That's fine too. What the hell is the meaning of building your newbie village on a graveyard? After asking around, I learned that the system would set the initial check-in location to the beginner village. No matter how Lin Xian tried, he couldn't leave this so-called cemetery. It was as if an invisible force was restraining him, preventing him from taking even half a step out. The wait lasted 99 years. During his most boring moments, Lin Xian even wrote a novel called The Most Miserable Transmigrator in History, stuck in the novice village for 99 years by a ruthless system, the entire of which consisted of only 4 words. Sign in, sleep, sign in, sleep, sign in. Even today, the gates to the beginner village finally opened and he jumped out without hesitation only to witness this scene. Result: it seems I accidentally killed a really powerful guy. Only then did everyone recover from the astonishing scene they had just witnessed. Someone asked in a trembling voice, "Senior, may I ask, where has the great emperor gone?" "Hi. He must be dead," Lin Xian said casually. After all, the system even provided experience points. There's no reason for him to still be alive, is there? Everyone fell silent. Kill Emperor Hongyu with one punch? Even a third-rate novelist wouldn't write such an outrageous plot, would they? But the facts are undeniable and cannot be ignored. Could you be the Azure Mystic Ancestor? Someone pondered. That must be it. Only the resurrected Great Emperor could possibly defeat the Great Emperor. You must be Ancestor Qingshuan. Is that even possible? But he's so young. Fool, a mighty emperor can even rise from the dead, so what's so special about reversing aging? The crowd discussed animatedly, but their gazes toward Lin Xian grew increasingly strange, gradually revealing admiration and respect. What's going on? Lin Xian was completely bewildered. He had just left the starting village, there wasn't even an old man giving out quests yet, he didn't know anything, and then apparently he accidentally killed some incredible guy. As a result, he became some kind of ancestor or emperor. Could this be the legendary super generation? In the crowd, Lin Tianzheng's face was terribly dark. To his utter surprise, the ancestor in the tomb suddenly came back to life and killed the current emperor with a single punch. That's outrageous. He's still kneeling there. It was incredibly awkward. He quietly stood up when no one was looking, intending to slip away first. But just then, Lin Wangxin suddenly stepped forward and said crisply, "Ancestor, someone just knelt before Emperor Hongyu, utterly disgracing you. How should they be punished?" This statement surprised everyone. Given Lin Wangxin's generally gentle and timid nature, why would she suddenly say something like that? However, this did serve as a reminder to everyone. They actually knelt before outsiders. They've utterly disgraced the Lin family. Not even an emperor. Please, Ancestor, decide what to do. Everyone spoke up, respectfully requesting Lin Xian to punish Lin Tianzheng. The latter's face immediately turned deathly pale. Lin Xian scratched his head, feeling that this misunderstanding was a bit big. This super generation feature is amazing. Cough, cough. Lin Xian coughed and said, "Hey, who knelt down to that b asterisk 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 d just now? Come out and take your beating." Seeing the situation was dire, Lin Tianzheng knelt down again, weeping bitterly. "Ancestor, please understand, I was only thinking of the survival of the Lin family. The emperor's might is inviolable. Don't think that handing over the witch will save the Lin family. I would gladly give my life." He cried, his eyes out, his face and neck turning red. Lin Xian looked disgusted, however he noticed a key word: a witch. "What witch?" Seeing an opportunity, Lin Tianzheng quickly said, "Ancestor, you died young and didn't know about this. 30,000 years ago, a witch wreaked havoc on the world, causing immense suffering and incurring the wrath of both gods and men. Even the great emperor of this era intervened but only managed to banish her into reincarnation. He failed to completely eradicate her. 30,000 years later, the witch is reincarnated as a human, destined to plunge the world into darkness once more." "Oh." Lin Xian nodded. "The newbie village mini-boss, right? Today I'm going to show you how a max-level pro slaughters a newbie village." He looked around and said, "Where's that witch? Tell her to come out, I'll kill her." Everyone looked at Lin Wangxin. Lin Wangxin stepped forward with tears in her eyes, looking pitiful, and said, "Grandmother, do I look like a witch?" Before Lin Xian could speak, she quietly embraced his arm, her breasts undulating and her tenderness enveloping him like spring water. Lin Xian glanced at Lin Wangxin's ample bosom and swallowed hard. "Honey trap, hee hee. LOL, Lin Xian would fall for that. Doesn't look like it." "Doesn't it look like it?" "Not at all," Lin Xian said firmly. Lin Wangxin's lips curled up slightly. "That's good, heh. Ha ha ha." Lin Xian smiled knowingly, but then he suddenly realized that his arms were covered in strands of hair. Lin Wangxin's smile grew even colder, and her jet-black hair suddenly grew longer, flying up with lightning speed and tightly wrapping around Lin Xian's limbs. Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, before anyone could react. Lin Wangxin's hair had completely bound Lin Xian's body. Ha. Lin Wangxin's smile turned sinister and terrifying. She gripped Lin Xian's arm even tighter as if she wanted to break it off for him. She said coldly, "Others may not be able to tell, but I can. You are not some resurrected emperor at all. You don't even have the slightest trace of law aura nor any cultivation. You are just an ordinary person with a mortal body." Lin Xian stared blankly at the hair that was wrapped all over his body. Lin Wangxin's gaze was intense and fervent as she said, "Although I don't know how you did it, you ultimately eliminated a great enemy for me. However, as a token of my gratitude, your body is mine." As she spoke, her pupils turned scarlet, like a venomous snake ready to devour its prey. Her entire demeanor changed drastically, transforming from gentle and charming to sinister, terrifying, and utterly chilling. The temperature in the entire venue plummeted. Lin Tianzheng's eyes widened and he screamed hysterically, "A witch. She really is a witch." "Shut up." Lin Wangxin snorted coldly and waved her hand lightly. Snap! Lin Tianzheng was sent flying backward, his body twisted and festering like a rag, suffering severe injuries. One strike instantly kills a half-saint level expert. The witch has appeared. Oh my god, she really was a witch reincarnated. The entire audience erupted in uproar and chaos. Lin Wangxin. No, the witch's gaze fell on Lin Xian again and she licked her lips. "Such a powerful physique, it will become my nourishment." She formed her fingers into a claw and suddenly stabbed towards Lin Xian's heart. Mysterious netherworld soul-destroying claw, die. The witch burst into laughter. However, the next moment she suddenly froze. That seemingly ordinary body remained completely unharmed despite his full-force attack. How is this possible? The witch was dumbfounded. Lin Xian was extremely nervous. This person, in public, he suddenly wrapped his hair around himself and started touching himself. Is he a pervert? The situation suddenly became very awkward. Why is this happening? The witch was dumbfounded. This move, the profound nether soul-destroying claw, can ignore any defense and directly attack the soul. Even in the golden age of cultivation 30,000 years ago, it was an unparalleled skill, and even the current emperors trembled at the mere mention of it. But why? I said, "Could you please take your hand away?" Lin Xian said weakly, "I know I'm handsome, but isn't it inappropriate in public?" The witch was exasperated. Nonsense, what's wrong with you? Are you even human? I don't understand what you're saying anyway. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Slap, slap, slap. Slap, slap, slap. Slap, slap, slap. The strands of hair that were wrapped all over his body broke off inch by inch. They seemed tough, but he broke free easily as taking off a piece of clothing. Impossible. The witch was deeply shaken. Her hair was incredibly strong, even a half-saint level expert could bind it. This guy clearly looked like an ordinary person. How could he break free so easily? Phew, that makes things much easier. Lin Xian stretched his arms, then looked up at the witch. Hey, are you having conjunctivitis? Why did your eyes suddenly change color? Witch. She really wanted to curse. This is called possession. You call this conjunctivitis? Before she could even speak, a shadow loomed over her, covering everything. Snap. Lin Xian slapped her on the forehead. With a loud bang, a violent shockwave erupted on the spot and the witch was sent flying by the slap, her head hitting the bronze stone door, whereupon she immediately lost consciousness. They should behave themselves now. Lin Xian nodded. Everyone stared blankly at the scene. Demon witch, was he slapped to death by the patriarch? Our ancestor was amazing. Punch the emperor, tear the witch apart. Ancestor Qingshuan is unparalleled in the world. After a brief silence, the entire audience erupted in cheers, seemingly led by someone. That's a witch who was cast into the cycle of reincarnation by the great emperor 30,000 years ago but did not die, and has been reincarnated and survived to this day. He was actually killed by the ancestor with a single slap. All I can say is he truly lives up to his ancestor's reputation. Lin Xian interrupted. Hey, you guys, stop yelling, I didn't actually kill her. The sound stopped abruptly. Everyone then realized that the witch was not dead but had simply fainted. However, after she fell into a coma, her hair gradually returned to its original state. Lin Xian casually pried open her eyes and looked inside, finding that her pupils had returned to their original color. Having regained her original appearance, Lin Wangxin lay quietly on the ground, unconscious. Even her demeanor had changed, as if she had become a completely different person. Has conjunctivitis been cured? Does my slap have healing properties? Lin Xian seemed lost in thought. Since that's the case, let's call that slap the life-saving and healing palm. Suddenly, a figure burst forth from the crowd, roaring, Ancestor, please don't be careless. This witch is the fiend who wreaked havoc on the human world 30,000 years ago. Kill her quickly. Everyone looked over. The person speaking at this moment was none other than Lin Tianzhang. Who are you sending it to? Lin Xian was completely bewildered. Ancestor. I am Lin Tianzhang, the third elder of the Lin family. Lin Tianzhang hurriedly said, this witch should not exist in this world. Please destroy her quickly. If this witch is allowed to grow stronger, the world will inevitably fall into chaos again sooner or later. Are you teaching me how to do things? I wouldn't dare, it's just. Then shut up and stop playing the coward in front of me. No. Everyone was speechless. He's not just acting like a grandson, he's your great-great-great-great-great-grandson. Is there any need to pretend? Lin Xian grabbed Lin Wangxin, looked her up and down to confirm she was just unconscious and then tossed her aside. Anyway, that's it for now. By the way, who's in charge here? Yes. Everyone turned to look at Lin Tianheng. He was previously injured and fell into a coma by Emperor Hongyu and has not yet woken up. Lin Xian frowned and said, what are you standing there for? Someone go wake him up. The crowd rushed forward and used magic to awaken Lin Tianheng. Zinner, what's wrong with my Zinner? Lin Tianheng exclaimed in surprise as soon as she opened her eyes. A bystander quickly said, Master Lin Wangxin, she has fainted. Who did this? I. Lin Xian said calmly. Lin Tianheng glared angrily, no matter who you are daring to touch Zinner. Wait, who are you? Where is Emperor Hongyu? I am your ancestor. Lin Xian said calmly, nonsense. Lin Tianheng was furious. Guards, seize this arrogant scoundrel. However, no one dared to step forward. The crowd exchanged bewildered glances. Who the hell would dare? That's a ruthless person who could kill an emperor with a single punch and tear a witch apart with his bare hands. And then again, he really does seem to be Lin Tianheng's ancestor. What's going on? You're not even obeying my orders, are you trying to rebel? Lin Tianhong said angrily. Someone nearby quickly exclaimed, "Patriarch, he really is your ancestor." Lin Tianhong immediately asked, "Are you seriously ill?" "Master, this is what happened." After some explanation, Lin Tianhong finally understood what had happened after she lost consciousness. To summarize, it's simple. Ancestor King Xuan suddenly came back to life, jumped out of his grave, killed Emperor Hongyu with a single punch, and then knocked the resurrected witch unconscious with a slap. Lin Tianhong looked at Lin Xian with a completely bewildered expression. So it really was an ancestor? Ancestor. Lin Tianhong's lips twitched. Even as the head of an imperial clan with extensive experience, he was unable to handle this situation. He had never seen anything like this before. How could someone who's been dead for 100,000 years possibly come back to life? Suddenly, a deafening roar came from the sky. Everyone looked up and saw a sky ablaze with light, celestial music playing, and wondrous phenomena appearing in the clouds, truly awe-inspiring. As if the clouds had parted and the fog had cleared, something that had been hanging over people's heads for so long had disappeared. This is. Everyone was astonished. This is because the laws and principles of heaven and earth have dispersed into 49 principles, no longer coalescing into one. Once a great emperor is born in the world, the laws of the universe will solidify and become imperceptible to humans. Cultivators in the world are like a pyramid with fewer and fewer people at the top. Only the great emperor can stand at the very top, but now the laws have collapsed and can no longer be reconciled. This means there are no more great emperors in the world. The path to becoming emperor has begun anew, and the era in which anyone can become emperor has returned. It wasn't just the Lin family. Throughout the entire primordial continent, many talented individuals, powerful imperial clans, and extraordinary figures have sensed the anomaly in the world. The laws have collapsed. What happened? Could this be a scheme devised by the great emperor? The powerful figures from all sides discussed the matter extensively, and many speculations emerged. Some even guessed that this was because Emperor Hongyu's cultivation had advanced further, breaking through the limits of humanity and embarking on an unprecedented path to immortality. However, when the intelligence arrived a few days later, everyone was stunned. Emperor Hongyu, the strongest under the stars, he was killed with a single punch. The entire primeval continent was shaken. Throughout history, the great emperor has always been the undisputed strongest, but the news that has just arrived confirms that the great emperor Hongyu has been eliminated, which is simply unbelievable. Ridiculous. What kind of rubbish intelligence is this? Has the Lin family of the eastern region gone mad? How dare they spread such rumors without authorization? Aren't you afraid of the emperor's wrath? Many prominent families did not take it seriously, and even believed that it was just false information deliberately spread by the Lin family to cover up the truth. However, to dare to say that Emperor Hongyu was beaten to death is simply absurd. Investigate further. You must get to the bottom of this. Use all the connections of my Ximen family and give me a definite answer within 3 days. In an instant, turmoil swept across the entire primeval continent. Meanwhile, Lin Xian, led by the Lin family, headed towards their ancestral home. Along the way, Lin Tianhong explained the current situation of the Lin family to Lin Xian. Ancestor, thanks to your protection, our Lin family has flourished and is now a behemoth known throughout the entire primitive continent. We have absolutely lived up to your expectations, Lin Tianhong said solemnly. Oh. Lin Xian nodded. Lin Tianhong. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, wondering what he had said wrong and sensing that the old man didn't seem very interested. Lin Tianhong decided to get to the point. Ancestor, actually something everyone's been asking is, how exactly did you come back to life? After all, you've already, to put it bluntly, has anyone in history ever lived past 100,000 years? His question was indeed very insightful. Not only him, but many elders and even disciples in the family were concerned about this issue. Even if someone was a great emperor in life, once dead, they are dead. It's impossible for them to come back to life, right? What's more, this is after a period of 100,000 years. It's truly outrageous that his maternal grandmother opened the door for him and that he actually went to his maternal grandmother's house. Lin Xian glanced at the crowd. Why? Because I'm not some kind of ancestor at all. For some reason, Lin Xian has inexplicably lived for 99 years without aging. Perhaps this is related to the attribute points he gained from signing in daily. After all, he's a man with off-the-charts attribute points. But he certainly couldn't admit to the current situation, so he had to come up with something else. Unfortunately, Lin Xian didn't know much about this world, and even if he made something up, he couldn't come up with a legitimate reason. Since that was the case, hee. Lin Xian suddenly let out a soft chuckle. The crowd exchanged bewildered glances, wondering what had gotten into their ancestor and what was so funny. Lin Xian said calmly, "How do you know that humans can't live for 100,000 years? What kind of dog f asterisk g question is this? Humans can't live that long anyway, is that even a question?" Everyone had their own thoughts of complaining, but since they were in front of the patriarch, they couldn't afford to be impolite. Lin Tianheng thought for a moment and said, "Well, even a great emperor's lifespan is only a maximum of 10,000 years, so naturally it's impossible for them to live for 100,000 years." The emperor. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. "I'm asking you, was that Emperor Hongyu from earlier the current emperor?" "That's right," Lin Tianheng nodded quickly. "How is he now? He must be dead, right?" "How did you die? You killed him, Ancestor." "That settles it, ah." Everyone looked bewildered. "How could that be?" Lin Xian explained calmly, "A great emperor is no match for me. Doesn't that mean my strength has already surpassed that of a great emperor? So what if he has a lifespan of 10,000 years? To me, it's merely a threshold I can easily cross." This. Everyone was stunned. Thinking about it carefully, it does seem to make sense. The Great Emperor realm symbolizes the limit of humanity, and to be able to instantly kill a great emperor naturally means that one's strength has surpassed that of a great emperor, stepping into another extreme of the limits of humanity. In other words, old ancestor, could it be that you have already? Lin Tianheng swallowed hard, her voice trembling, unable to utter the word. The elders standing nearby exchanged bewildered glances. While this is the only explanation for the current situation, it's still incredibly hard to believe. Lin Xian didn't know what these old fogies were thinking, but he didn't care. He nodded naturally. "That's right, just as you think." "Oh my god. The ancestor actually." Crossing the immortal gate and ascending the path to immortality, achieving an unprecedented realm of immortality in the mortal world. Lin Tianheng was trembling with excitement. The people around were all blushing, and some even fainted on the spot due to their excitement. Holy crap, Lin Xian was a little confused. Is it really necessary? Did I accidentally say something terrible? That is indeed the case. Throughout history, people have known about the realm of immortals, but no one has ever been able to break through the limits of the human realm and enter the ranks of immortals. Lin Xian's demonstrated strength and his own admission of it convinced everyone. From this day forward, my Lin family can be called a family of immortal emperors. Lin Tianheng's hands trembled and tears streamed down her wrinkled face, making Lin Xian feel quite embarrassed. "What immortals? What emperors? I freaking don't understand." Lin Xian thought for a moment, then changed the subject, saying, "Don't spread this around. Becoming an immortal is against the will of heaven. It's not appropriate to make a big fuss about it. It's enough that those of you present know." "I see." Everyone suddenly realized why the patriarch had only given this instruction in private. Becoming an immortal is indeed like rowing against the current, seizing the power of heaven and earth. It's only right to be low-key. From this day forward, with the immortal of the mortal world overseeing our Lin family, we fear nothing. Lin Tianheng was imposing and full of vigor. But just then, a voice came from the side. "Now that the ancestor has achieved the status of a mortal immortal and will henceforth live as long as the heavens, I think it would be better to hand over the position of family head to him." Everyone turned to look and discovered that the speaker was actually a pig. "Oh, I misread it. It's Lin Tianzheng. This kid's face is swollen like a pig's head." Just now, the witch possessed Lin Wangxin and struck Lin Tianzheng squarely in the face, turning his head into a pig's head. For some reason, the swelling hasn't gone down yet. "Pig, third brother is right." Lin Tianheng coughed lightly and said respectfully, "Now that the ancestor has achieved the status of a mortal immortal, it would be somewhat unworthy for me to hold the position of family head. The ancestor should take on the role." "Well, Lin Xian gave a dry laugh, his face full of embarrassment. Damn it! I've been squatting in your ancestor's grave for 99 years. My asterisk is almost numb from squatting there. Head of the family? Haha, I wouldn't even be a dog, he thought for a moment, then pondered. The world has changed drastically in the past 10,000 years. This world is vastly different from the one I know. I think you should keep the position of head of the family. This. The group looked at each other in bewilderment. After a long pause, Lin Tianheng finally gritted his teeth and said, "Since that's the case, then I will temporarily hold onto the position of family head until the patriarch decides to return it." That's all. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Lin Tianzheng's lips twitched. The last thing he wanted was for Lin Tianheng to sit in the head of the family. He had offended Lin Tianheng badly before, and now things were going to be really difficult. Just then, after a long journey, the group finally arrived at the ancestral home of the Lin family. Beep. Successfully checked in at the Lin family ancestral home. Reward. Taikshuan Immortal Scripture. What sutra? Lin Xian was taken aback. Lin Xian quickly glanced at this so-called Taikshuan Immortal Scripture. I recognize each character individually, but I can't understand them when they're put together. It is said to be a supreme immortal scripture that elucidates the great Tao and can guide people onto the path of immortality, but to Lin Xian it is just an ordinary scripture. System, have you lost your mind? Are you trying to fool us with this junk? Lin Xian asked in his mind. Beep. This system is completely honest and trustworthy. Keep talking and I'll sue you for defamation. Holy crap, Lin Xian was so angry that his blood pressure spiked. Just as he was about to unleash his fury, he heard Lin Tianheng speak up. Ancestor, now that you have attained immortality, you must have gained some understanding of the great Tao. Why not expound upon the scriptures and principles for the disciples of the clan and elucidate the great Tao? He said it respectfully. Lin Xian's lips twitched. What the hell do I know about the Tao? Logically speaking, even a pig that has lived for 99 years should have become a spirit by now. However, Lin Xian has spent those 99 years sleeping and arguing with the system every day, and he hasn't been able to comprehend any profound truths. But this is not something you can easily refuse. Looking at Lin Tianheng's eager face, he really cares about the disciples of his clan. How about this? We'll schedule a sermon in 3 days. Lin Xian said with difficulty. There's no other way, we'll just have to leave it like this for now. At worst, I'll just give up and run away. Ancestor, what should we do with the witch? Someone asked. Lin Wangxin is still unconscious, but her previous demeanor was truly impressive. Even a half-saint was no match for her, so she probably has the legendary saint level. Now, apart from Lin Xian, no one in the entire Lin family can suppress her. No one knows whether she will be a witch or Lin Wangxin after she wakes up. Lin Tianzheng said in a sinister tone, "In my opinion, it would be better to imprison him in the 9 Heavens prison for 10 years and then decide what to do after confirming there are no further abnormalities." Nonsense! Lin Tianheng roared in fury. The 9 Heavens prison is a place for the most heinous criminals. Zinner has never harmed anyone, why should she suffer like this? Lin Tianzheng. Look me in the face before you speak. The two stared at each other, looking like they were about to have a fight. Lin Xian said impatiently, "What are you yelling about? It's so annoying. If this witch remains in the world, she will cause endless harm. Ancestor, please be wise." Ancestor, if Ryu Zinner is truly that so-called witch, I, Lin Tianheng, am willing to bear the consequences. The two of them spoke hastily. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. What witch? You talk a big game, but you still got half dead from your own life-saving palm strike, didn't you? He thought for a moment, then said, "All right, this woman will stay with me for now under my personal care. Whether she is a witch or not, I will decide for myself when she wakes up." This. Lin Tianheng was taken aback. The patriarch has already spoken, what more could you possibly want? Lin Tianzheng sneered. Lin Tianheng sighed and said, "I wouldn't dare. I'll leave my daughter in your care, Ancestor. Please, Ancestor, discern right from wrong." Lin Xian nodded slightly, but just then Lin Tianheng suddenly widened his eyes and shouted, "Who goes there? Hiding like that, show your true form." With a wave of his hand, the principles of Tao spread across a radius of 100 miles. Thunderclaps seemed to echo in the air. Lin Tianhong's hands formed hand seals, changing in countless ways in an instant, as if he were fighting against some being in the void. In force. He shouted. As the scorching sun rose, the temperature inside the venue suddenly increased. A slender, golden figure appeared in the air, enveloped in the golden sun like a deity. I am a special envoy of the Dongfang family who dares to harm me. The woman called out in a delicate voice. The Eastern family. Lin Tianhong's expression changed slightly. She glanced at the nonchalant Lin Xian beside her, then, feeling reassured, shouted, "So what if he's an envoy from the Dongfang family? Sneaking around like this, are you perhaps doing something shady?" The clan elders who were standing nearby also realized what was happening and rushed to help. Boom. The blazing sun was finally suppressed, falling from the sky to the ground, unable to hide its shadow any longer. Everyone stared intently. The first thing that catches the eye is a pair of long, shapely legs. The legs, tightly encased in black stockings, have not an ounce of excess fat. The slender waist is so delicate that it seems as if it would break at the slightest touch. Above that are a pair of perky, snow-white breasts, so full that even the thin cloak cannot conceal them. Beneath his slender, jet-black eyebrows were a pair of cold, piercing eyes. "Who are you?" Lin Tianhong shouted. "I am Dongfang Jing, a special envoy of the Dongfang family," the woman said coldly. "The family head heard that the Lin family was in trouble and specially sent me to provide assistance, but you don't appreciate my good intentions and instead attack me. Hey, you've got a silver tongue." Lin Tianhong sneered. Why did it come so late when the crisis had already been resolved? Moreover, for a mighty emperor to launch an attack, he only sent a half-saint. Who does he think he is? It was nominally a support mission, but in reality it was more like intelligence gathering. Ancestor, this person. Just as Lin Tianhong was about to report to Lin Xian, she suddenly realized that Lin Xian, who had been standing behind her, had disappeared. "Huh, where's the ancestor?" Lin Tianhong was completely bewildered. A trusted subordinate beside him said helplessly, "Master, the ancestor has already passed away." Ugh. Everyone turned around and saw that Lin Xian had already run up to Dongfeng Jing. He smiled broadly and reached out his hand, saying, "Beautiful lady, are you all right? Let me help you up." As he spoke, he subtly glanced at Dongfeng Jing's figure and swallowed almost imperceptibly. "Who are you?" Dongfeng Jing was filled with surprise and doubt. Lin Xian smiled and said, "My name is Lin Xian, and as my name suggests, I'm a carefree person." After a slight hesitation, Dongfeng Jing finally grasped the hand Lin Xian offered and slowly rose with his help. "By the way, don't you have a younger brother named Dongfeng Yao?" Lin Xian asked casually. Dongfeng Jing remained outwardly calm, but inwardly he was greatly alarmed. Impossible. His younger brother, Dongfeng Yao, was a peerless talent secretly cultivated by the family. Outsiders shouldn't have any way of knowing about his existence. How could this guy reveal it so easily? Could it be that the Lin family already has complete intelligence on the Dongfeng family? Dongfeng Jing realized that he had unknowingly fallen into a dangerous situation, and his mind immediately began to race. Immediately afterwards, her gaze fell on Lin Xian. This guy, being able to serve by the side of the Lin family head, one's identity must be extraordinary. In that case, the answer is obvious. With Lin Xian's help, Dongfeng Jing slowly got up. Sudden, she flashed and with lightning speed circled behind Lin Xian. Swish, a short sword suddenly appeared in her hand. What? Everyone was shocked. "If you don't want him to die, don't make any rash moves," Dongfeng Jing shouted. She clung tightly to Lin Xian's back, using him to shield him from the crowd, her short sword pressed against his neck as if the slightest movement would cause him to be decapitated. Lin Xian's expression changed drastically. "Holy crap, bump to the top. Girl, didn't your mom teach you not to dribble a ball and run into people? Does having big pectoral muscles make you a big deal?" That's so damn foul. Upon seeing Lin Xian being arrested, everyone present tensed up. It wasn't that I was worried about Lin Xian's safety. After all, I'd witnessed Lin Xian punching the great emperor and tearing apart the witch. A mere half-saint couldn't possibly threaten Lin Xian's safety. But regardless, for the dignified patriarch of the Lin family to be held hostage like this was an utter disgrace. "You, how dare you?" Lin Tianhong shouted angrily. Back off if you don't want him to get hurt, otherwise I'll kill him. As Dongfang Jing spoke, she pressed her alluring figure close to Lin Xian's back as if afraid he would run away. Lin Xian's face was tense, his expression ashen. Seeing Lin Xian's serious expression, the Lin family members were almost in tears. However, no one expected that Lin Xian's tense expression was entirely due to his desperate attempt to maintain composure in such a serious situation. It would be too embarrassing if he were discovered. Lin Xian coughed lightly and said, "Ahem, could you please not stand so close? I can't run away." HMPH, trying to lower my guard. Impossible, Dongfang Jing sneered, pressing even closer. He was practically flattened against Lin Xian's back, showcasing the art of tender affection to its fullest extent. Hiss, Lin Xian gasped, this gun. Even harder to control than an AK? No, if this continues, we'll be exposed sooner or later. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and said, "You all listen to her first, step back." This is good. The crowd exchanged bewildered glances, unsure of their ancestors' intentions, and could only take a few steps back for the time being. Retreat again. Lin Xian shouted, "Ah. I'll let you back out." Oh. The crowd hurriedly retreated. "Turn around again," Lin Xian shouted. Now not only the elders but even Dongfang Jing was confused. "You're being way too cooperative. Is he experiencing Stockholm Syndrome?" Seeing that no one moved, Lin Xian said urgently, "Quickly turn your head around, what are you staring at?" Oh shit, he's about to lose control if he doesn't turn around soon. Lin Xian recalled how he once solo queued to master rank, and in the final round he took on an entire enemy squad with an AK without any attachments. In the end, he managed to wipe them out with his unparalleled recoil control skills and was promoted to master. I never imagined we would suffer such a humiliating defeat today. The elders looked helpless and turned their heads away. Dongfang Jing suddenly came to his senses and seized the opportunity to immediately take Lin Xian into the air and speed away into the distance. "Holy crap! Master, she's run away," the confidant said impatiently. Lin Tianheng glanced at the departing Dongfang Jing, a helpless expression on his face. The ancestor must have his reasons for doing this. "Anyway, I'll wait here for a while. Perhaps the ancestor will return soon." "Yes." On the other side, in the blink of an eye, Dongfeng Jing carried Lin Xian over 1,000 miles away. She wanted to return to the Dongfang family as quickly as possible, so she chose to traverse a straight line through the deserted wilderness. The two flew through the air, covering 1,000 miles in an instant, but just then, Dongfang Jing's expression suddenly changed and his body trembled. "Hey beautiful, what's wrong?" Lin Xian asked curiously. "It's none of your business," Dongfang Jing said irritably. She had suffered considerable internal injuries during her fight with the Lin family patriarch and others. Although she managed to suppress them with her inner energy for a short time, the injuries were now flaring up, causing her to be unable to withstand the strain. Ultimately, her cultivation level was only half-saint. Facing several experts of the same level at the same time, it was already a miracle that she could hold out for even a moment. "No, at this rate we won't be able to get back. I need to heal my wounds here." Dongfang Jing took a deep breath and landed with Lin Xian on this desolate land. She made a hand seal and suddenly pointed a finger at Lin Xian's shoulder. "Beautiful lady, what are you doing?" Lin Xian asked, puzzled. "I need to heal your wounds, but before that I must seal your cultivation to prevent you from escaping." As Dongfeng Jing spoke, his expression changed. She suddenly realized that the technique she used to seal her cultivation had vanished into Lin Xian's body like a mud ox sinking into the sea, completely unfathomable. This represents three possibilities. Or perhaps Lin Xian is just an ordinary person without any cultivation. Either Lin Xian's cultivation level is far superior to his own, or perhaps he possesses some kind of magical artifact that can conceal his cultivation level. Dongfeng Jing immediately ruled out the first possibility. If Lin Xian were just an ordinary person, the Lin family's higher-ups would not have allowed him to leave. The second explanation is also impossible. How could someone with cultivation above mine be a saint? Are you kidding me? That leaves only the third explanation. Swish. She leaped back abruptly, creating distance, and demanded warily, "Who exactly are you?" Lin Xian looked completely bewildered. HMPH, I almost fell for your trap, Dongfeng Jing sneered. You wanted to play along, pretending to be an ordinary person and following me into the Dongfeng family ancestral land to gather intelligence. Heh, no way. Hey. Lin Xian was speechless. Didn't you the one who dragged me here? That drama queen is truly amazing. A cruel glint appeared on Dongfeng Jing's delicate face. Since you won't confess, there's nothing more to say. I'll break your limbs, and even if you have immense power, you won't be able to use it. Take this. She let out a delicate shout, and with a wave of her hand, she gathered up intense heat, as if the blazing sun were rising from the ground. Boom! The entire wilderness was thrown into turmoil. Immediately afterwards, Dongfeng Jing raised his hand and struck Lin Xian's dantian with a palm. She actually threatened to cripple Lin Xian's cultivation without a word, turning him into a complete cripple. So much trouble. Lin Xian sighed. Just moments before Dongfeng Jing's palm was about to land on Lin Xian unleashed that move with lightning speed, the palm technique for saving lives and healing the wounded. In short, slapping. Snap! With a crisp crack, the blazing sun was extinguished instantly. Dongfeng Jing was sent flying thousands of meters away, collapsing to the ground in an extremely undignified manner like a lump of mud. His eyes rolled back, his tongue lolling out, and he fell into a deep coma. She was knocked unconscious by Lin Xian's slap. A dignified semi-saint level expert was actually knocked unconscious with a single slap. If word got out, people would laugh their heads off. This is really troublesome. Lin Xian sighed, and with a light leap he crossed over 1,000 meters to stand in front of Dongfeng Jing. He pressed his ear against Dongfeng Jing's chest and listened, then was immediately horrified. There's no heartbeat? Oh wait, that's not right. It seems like it was because his pectoral muscles were too thick. I didn't hear clearly. Lin Xian listened to the recording several more times to confirm that she still had a heartbeat and wasn't dead. He then calmly carried her on his shoulder and returned the way he came. Upon returning to the Lin family ancestral home, they were greeted by Lin Tianhong standing at the gate, leaning on a cane. Hey you there! Lin Xian called out, come give me a hand. Carrying this woman all the way is exhausting. Ancestor, you're finally back. Lin Tianhong jumped and skipped excitedly, rushing forward. But when he saw the figure carrying Lin Xian on his shoulder, he froze. Ancestor, why did you bring her back? She started touching me inappropriately, so I had no choice but to knock her unconscious and carry her back. Well, Lin Tianhong's lips twitched. Dongfeng Jing is a once-in-a-millennium genius in the Dongfeng family. He has always been cultivated by the family as a talent to contend for the throne, and countless resources have been spent on him. It has now fallen into the hands of the Lin family. If those old fogies of the Dongfeng family, clinging to life, found out about this, they'd probably be so angry they'd flip their coffins open and jump out to beat someone up. Early the next morning, Lin Xian slowly awoke. He had a very strange dream. It felt like he was experiencing sleep paralysis, and the female ghost was quite beautiful. I wish there were such beautiful female ghosts in real life. At this time, Lin Xian heard a muttering in his ear. Why won't you die? Why won't you die? When Lin Xian opened his eyes, he saw a beautiful woman with red eyes and long hair, her hands gripping his neck. The red-eyed beauty muttered to herself. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment, then quickly realized what was going on. He had previously instructed Lin Tianhong and others to hand Lin Wangxin over to him for safekeeping. When night fell, he prepared to go to sleep. The Lin family's servants carried the unconscious Lin Wangxin into their room, threw her onto the bed and ran away, leaving Lin Xian feeling dizzy and disoriented. No way. Lin Xian had no choice but to swallow his pride. Although Lin Wangxin had woken up, it was clear that the body occupying her was not that of the original Lin Wangxin but rather that of the so-called witch. Judging from their posture, they're probably trying to figure out how to kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian, however, didn't seem to care. But then again, could you get off me first? Lin Xian couldn't help but say. The witch then realized Lin Xian was awake, and a look of wariness immediately appeared on her face. Don't move or I'll kill you. You've been trying for ages, do you think I'm blind? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Witch. That's really awkward. If someone is lying there waiting for you to kill them and you still can't kill them, what do you say about that? Even with the witch's vast experience, she had never witnessed such an incomprehensible situation. You idiot, what is your body made of? Why don't my spells work on you? Well, Lin Xian curled his lip. Didn't the system previously give away a max-level gift pack? He opened it last night and gave me a reward. Beep. Level up gift pack successfully opened. Congratulations, host, on obtaining an invulnerable immortal soul. Immunity to all magic. All forms of magical attacks cannot harm the host. Immortal soul, the soul cannot be harmed and is eternally immortal. In short, Lin Xian felt as if he were invincible. Not only are its attribute points off the charts, but it's also immune to magic attacks and soul attacks. Isn't this just walking sideways? However, Lin Xian had no intention of conquering the world. It was as if he had been a homebody for 99 years and even his ambitions had been extinguished by staying at home. Lin Xian said helplessly, "Anyway, can you go down first? Kid, I suggest you show me some respect." The witch sneered, then leaped off Lin Xian. "Who exactly are you, and why are you in the tomb of the Azure Profound Emperor?" "Hey, wait a minute." Lin Xian tilted his head. "Beautiful lady, you seem to have the wrong perspective. Shouldn't I be the one asking you this? And what are you, occupying someone else's body and giving them envy? Which, if you dare say it's conjunctivitis again, I'll fight you to the death." After an argument, the witch finally calmed down. But she remained arrogant and disdainful, saying, "I am the ice witch who roamed the primordial continent 30,000 years ago. With my power, the entire primordial continent will be plunged into eternal freeze. You humans can't kill me. Even if you can kill me once, my soul can remain intact in the cycle of reincarnation, and I will come back again. Someday." Lin Xian clenched his fist. "Can't you speak properly? Witching, put your fist down first." Lin Xian was already fed up with hearing it, so he went up and punched the witch twice on the head, making her head buzz. She covered her head and yelled, "Stop hitting me, I really won't do it again." "Speak like a human being, who exactly are you?" Lin Xian asked, clenching his fist. "I've already told you I'm the Ice Witch." The witch gritted her teeth and said, 30,000 years ago, she was personally killed by the Emperor Guanghen and cast into reincarnation. 30,000 years later, her soul awoke again, only to find herself inexplicably possessing Lin Wangxin's body. Lin Wangxin's personality was the complete opposite of the witch's. Although she was a daughter of an imperial family, she always lacked confidence and seemed like anyone could bully her. Several times, the witch couldn't stand it anymore and directly jumped out to beat up those who bullied her. Unexpectedly, this attracted the attention of the great emperor. That's why the scene described earlier happened. That sounds really impressive. Lin Xian sighed. "Ice Witch, do you think I'm telling a story? I'm quite curious, why did you freeze the entire primeval continent 30,000 years ago?" "Since I could do it, I tried." "That's quite a flimsy excuse." Lin Xian, too lazy to ask any further, waved his hand and said, "Anyway, you better behave yourself from now on. Don't let me see you causing any more trouble or I'll beat you up every time I see you, understand?" The Ice Witch was stunned. You're not going to kill me." "Why would I kill you?" Lin Xian was also stunned. "I never intended to kill her, so why act like we have some deep-seated grudge?" The Ice Witch asked, puzzled, "But I killed so many people 30,000 years ago, I'm seen as an unforgivable serial killer." "What's it to me?" Lin Xian rolled his eyes. "I wasn't even born 30,000 years ago." The Ice Demoness's expression was complex. "Aren't you afraid that once I grow stronger, I'll plunge the entire world into ice again?" "I'm not afraid." "Why? If that day ever comes, I'll beat you up." That seems to be the logic. Even a mighty emperor was killed by this guy with a single punch. No matter how much I grow stronger, I can never reach that level. I feel a strange sadness. HMPH, what a strange fellow. The Ice Witch rolled her eyes. Sudden, she swayed slightly, her red eyes gradually returning to their original light chestnut color and her hair returned to its original length. "Huh. What's wrong with me?" Lin Wangxin rubbed her temples, feeling as if she had just had a very long dream. In my dream, I seemed to have fought a battle with members of my family, and I was obsessed with killing someone, even planning to strangle him while he slept that night. What a strange dream! As Lin Xian was thinking this, she looked up and suddenly found a naked man standing in front of her. Huh. She was completely stunned. Are you all right? Lin Xian waved his hand in front of her eyes. No response. Lin Xian poked her cheek, still no response. Lin Xian patted her on the shoulder, still no response, so Lin Xian felt perfectly justified in continuing. Alia! A piercing, chilling scream shattered the tranquility of the morning. Half an hour later, Lin Tianheng, the head of the Lin family, and many elders gathered together. Lin Xian casually pulled up a chair and sat down in the corner while Lin Wangxin stood behind Lin Tianheng, her pretty face flushed, occasionally stealing glances at Lin Xian. Recalling what had happened that morning, a strange sensation still lingered in her chest. Cough, cough. Lin Tianheng coughed lightly. Lin Wangxin then came to her senses and quickly looked away. Meanwhile, the crowd below was engaged in heated debate and arguments over how to deal with Dongfang Jing. Patriarch, this Dongfang Jing is an unparalleled talent cultivated by the Dongfang family. If we act rashly, we may clash with the Dongfang family. HMPH, the Dongfang family, what's there to be afraid of? It was clearly the Dongfang family who sent people to spy on us first, treating the Lin family as if they didn't exist. This Eastern mirror must not be returned easily. Lin Tianheng sighed. This Eastern mirror is truly a hot potato. If it is returned easily, it will seem as if the Lin family is afraid of the Eastern family, but if it is not returned, those old fogies of the Eastern family might really jump out of their coffins to attack, and a major battle would be inevitable. Lin Tianheng glanced at Lin Xian discreetly, only to find the latter yawning listlessly. He, I see. Lin Tianheng immediately understood what the Ancestor meant. The Dongfang family is nothing to mention. They're so bored they're yawning. It seems the Patriarch is quite confident. With this in mind, Lin Tianheng felt more confident. Thump, thump, thump. He tapped the ground with his cane, drawing everyone's attention. This Dongfang Jing is a talent cultivated by the Dongfang family to contend for the throne. The foundation of the Dongfang family is engraved in his bones. Even if he is kept, he can never be used by my Lin family. He will definitely have to be returned, Lin Tianheng said in a deep voice. But many radical elders were indignant. Lin Tianheng waved his hand and said, of course, ultimately it depends on the sincerity of the Dongfang family. If the Dongfang family has no sincerity whatsoever, then we wouldn't mind losing an arm or a leg to Dongfang Jing. Upon hearing this, the expressions on everyone's faces softened somewhat. A talent vying for the throne requires countless family resources to cultivate. Dongfang Jing is only in his early 20s and already has the cultivation of a half-saint. The resources he has consumed are no exaggeration to be mountains of gold and silver. Ancestor, what do you think of this approach? Lin Tianheng asked respectfully. Ah. Lin Xian rubbed his eyes. He hadn't slept well last night and had been dozing off. What did he just say? Never mind, let's leave it at that. We'll do as you say. Lin Xian said calmly. No sooner had the words left his mouth than a voice announced from outside the gate. Report, the head of the Dongfang family has arrived with the Dongfang family's sage. What perfect timing. Lin Tianheng sneered. The purpose of coming to the Lin family at this time is self-evident. The elders angrily exclaimed, Patriarch, they actually brought a saint along. It's blatant disregard for the Lin family. It's all right, Lin Tianheng waved his hand dismissively. What are mere sages worth mentioning? With our ancestor here, even a great sage wouldn't stand a chance. Gentlemen, please follow me to greet our guests. The Eastern Imperial clan has arrived. Boom! 8 fiery steeds neighed, their bodies burning with the true fire of the sun as they galloped forward. This is an ancient mythical beast, said to possess the bloodline of a true dragon and capable of defeating a half-step great power upon reaching adulthood. Using such a creature to pull a cart is the ultimate expression of arrogance and coolness. It makes one a true master of showing off. An envoy dressed in a white robe with red patterns stood before the carriage and loudly proclaimed, the esteemed Eastern Imperial clan has graced us with their presence, yet not a single person has come to greet us. Is this the Lin family's way of treating guests? With a wave of his hand, the envoy led his blazing steed in an attempt to force its way through. But just then, swish, several streaks of light rushed in from afar, stopping the carriage and the messenger at the same time. It was Lin Tianheng and the others who rushed over upon hearing the news. A good dog doesn't block the way. The messenger shouted and raised his hand to strike, but just then, a loud voice suddenly came from the carriage behind them. "Stop!" As soon as he finished speaking, the curtain was lifted and a handsome, scholarly-looking man rose and stepped out. Behind him stood an old man with white hair and beard, exuding an incredibly terrifying aura. Even with his eyes closed, his mere presence made everyone feel as if a huge boulder was pressing down on their hearts. The two were the current head of the Dongfang family and a sage of the Dongfang family. "Tianheng, you still look as radiant as ever after all this time." The head of the Dongfang family smiled faintly. "I can't compare to you," Lin Tianheng said with a forced smile. "You've come to my Lin family with such a large entourage. Do you perhaps intend to start a war with us?" The moment these words were spoken, the atmosphere in the room froze. The head of the Dongfang family twitched his lips and chuckled dryly. "Not at all. I heard the Lin family has weathered the crisis, so I came to offer my congratulations and bring a generous gift." Guards, present the generous gift. As soon as he finished speaking, several soldiers stepped forward and presented a variety of generous gifts. "Hiss!" Everyone present couldn't help but gasp. 10 caddies of Brahma dragon crystal, 3 pieces of immovable immortal glaze, 10 caddies of dragon-patterned black gold, 100 caddies of absolute crystal sand. Each and every one of these is a priceless treasure. Only an imperial family with such profound heritage as the Dongfang family would have the strength to produce such a vast amount of rare and precious materials. Only Lin Tianheng and other high-ranking officials remained silent with smiles. They all knew it very well. This is hardly a generous gift, it's just a different way of saying the ransom for Dongfang Jing. The soldier laid out these rare and precious materials on the ground, stacking them high like a small mountain, which amazed the many onlookers present. This time, the Dongfang family has really suffered a huge loss. The head of the Dongfang family said calmly, "Brother Tianheng, are you satisfied with the generous gift we brought today?" "He." Lin Tianheng stroked his beard, about to speak. Suddenly, a casual voice came from the side. "Do you think my Lin family is a garbage collector, throwing out all sorts of trash?" "Who?" The head of the Dongfang family's expression changed drastically. The sage from the Eastern family opened his eyes and his oppressive aura swept across the entire area. A tall, upright young man took a step forward and leaped up without fear. "My name is Lin Xian." Lin Xian casually announced his name. "Take your junk and get out of the Lin family. We don't collect junk." "Arrogant." The head of the Dongfang family was furious and said in a deep voice, "Brother Tianheng, your family's handyman disciples are far too audacious. They need to be properly disciplined, or they'll cause trouble sooner or later." "A menial disciple." Lin Tianheng and the others looked at each other, then couldn't help but burst into laughter. The head of the Dongfang family was filled with doubt and surprise. "Don't blame me for not warning you, the person standing in front of you is no ordinary handyman disciple," Lin Tianheng declared in a resounding voice. "He is none other than my Lin family's ancestor, the supreme powerhouse who ushered in an era 10,000 years ago, the strongest being under the starry sky, the azure profound emperor." Boom! It felt like a thunderbolt striking from above. The head of the Dongfang family was completely stunned. But when his gaze fell on Lin Xian again, a perfectly curved smile appeared on his lips and he couldn't help but burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha ha. Brother Tianheng, you're really joking. How dare a mere mortal presume to call himself the great Ancestor Emperor? Saying such things is a dangerous thing. You might incur divine retribution." The head of the Dongfang family laughed for a moment but then realized that no one seemed to be laughing with him. "I looked up. Everyone seems quite serious." "Smile, why aren't you smiling anymore?" Lin Xian tilted his head and looked at him. "Patriarch Dongfeng, Brother Tianheng, you surely understand why I've come to the Lin family. As the saying goes, a step back makes the sky wider. Isn't my sincerity enough?" Lin Tianheng remained silent. Lin Xian stepped forward again and said calmly, "So you're the successor to the deaf, huh? I'll say it one more time. Take your trash and get out. Boy, don't provoke me, the Dongfang family's foundation." Smack. Without saying a word, Lin Xian went up and slapped the head of the Dongfang family across the face. The latter's expression changed drastically, as if a huge mountain was pressing down on him with no way to escape. Boom. He was slammed into the ground, creating a deep crater. The sage of the Eastern family finally reacted and in a fit of rage attacked Lin Xian. In an instant, the laws of the void surged and a vast, surging true energy rushed forth, causing the heavens and earth to change color. Then. And that was the end of it. Snap! Lin Xian slapped him again, knocking the sage of the Dongfang family to the ground. The old sage of the Dongfang family felt as if all his old bones were about to fall apart. His eyes rolled back and he fainted. Is this the attitude of your Lin family? The head of the Dongfang family scrambled to his feet, enraged, unwilling to negotiate. Do you intend to start a war with my Dongfang family? Upon hearing this, everyone's expressions became somewhat subtle. There has been a rule on the primitive continent since ancient times that imperial clans should not easily start wars. When a great emperor appears, he is invincible for 10,000 years. The legacy he leaves behind will naturally be passed down to future generations. How vast must the wealth accumulated by being invincible for 10,000 years be? It is beyond anyone's imagination. If the two imperial clans were to go to war, it would be a war that would affect the entire situation of the primitive continent. However, Lin Xian didn't care about all that, he stated directly. Dongfang Jing's trespassing on Lin family property is a serious crime. She will remain a slave in the Lin family for 10 years, after which I will naturally release her. Impossible. The head of the Dongfang family was furious. This had crossed a line. Although the Dongfang family cultivated other talents vying for the throne, the resources invested in Dongfang Jing were the most, making him no exaggeration to call him priceless. They actually want to make Dongfang Jing a slave for 10 years? Are you kidding me? Since you're unwilling to negotiate, then let's go to war. My Dongfang family has never been weaker than anyone since the time of the great Emperor Liang. The head of the Dongfang family was imposing and full of vigor. Behind him, 8 fiery steeds neighed and trotted about. Lin Tianhong said in a deep voice, "Do you think the Lin family can just leave as they please? Why not? Don't think I don't know that your Lin family's 3 saints have already been severely injured by Emperor Hongyu and can't stop me." The head of the Dongfang family shouted, "Old sage, please make your move." A long silence followed. No one spoke. Everyone stared intently at the head of the Dongfang family. The head of the Dongfang family was stunned for a moment, then turned his head and realized, goodness. The old sage had been lying down for who knows how long and hadn't woken up yet. He was in an even worse state than I was. The situation became extremely awkward. Holy crap, wait a minute, isn't this situation a little bad? The head of the Dongfang family blinked. Including Lin Tianhong, there were a total of 5 half-saint level experts. There's also the most mysterious one, Lin Xian, who slammed himself into the ground with a single move. On his side, there were only 8 beasts comparable to powerful beings and himself a half-saint. Wait, hold on a minute. The head of the Dongfang family smiled warmly. What can't be discussed between imperial clans? As the saying goes, harmony brings wealth, there's no need for fighting. Snap! Lin Xian struck again, delivering another slap. The head of the Dongfang family suddenly felt dizzy. The head of the Dongfang family slowly awoke. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a vast, deserted wilderness with an old man covered in dirt lying next to him. Oh no, not an old man, he is the old sage of the Eastern family. Sage Ancestor, please wake up. The head of the Dongfang family quickly woke up the old sage. The old sage slowly awoke. My head hurts so much, time for dinner. Wait, where am I? The head of the Dongfang family recounted the events truthfully. Upon hearing this, the latter flew into a rage, slamming his fist on the ground and exclaiming, outrageous! This Lin family is utterly arrogant. Do they really think they're the only imperial clan on the primordial continent? Let war begin. How can the descendants of the Blazing Sun Emperor be weaker than others? Well, the head of the Dongfang family twitched at the corner of his mouth, and then voiced his concerns. Not to mention the Lin family's other resources. The seemingly ordinary young man alone is suspicious, and the entire Lin family is shrouded in mystery. Even a saint couldn't defeat him in a single blow. Could he be at the legendary Great Saint realm? The head of the Dongfang family speculated. I think it's more than that. The old sage also realized what was happening and pondered. I have cultivated for thousands of years, and I have even witnessed the deeds of great sages. I know what a true great sage looks like, but that young man looks like an ordinary person without even the slightest bit of cultivation. This is simply unbelievable. What do you mean, Ancestor? Perhaps his realm is not just that of a great sage, but rather something beyond great sage. A quasi-emperor. The old sage's words were like a thunderbolt. The head of the Dongfang family was so frightened that he trembled all over. The great sage, with the Dongfang family's resources, they can still handle it if they put in all their strength. However, there's really nothing that can be done about quasi-emperors who are above the great sage level. Ultimately, humanity has its limits. Those who become emperors are all exceptional talents, the cream of the crop. Don't be fooled by the fact that your ancestors were emperors. Even though your bloodline has been passed down for tens of thousands of years, it's almost gone by now. You might be able to differentiate yourself from ordinary people, but you're still not on the same level as those true dragons and phoenixes. A quasi-emperor, that's not just some talent vying for the throne, it's a true powerhouse with the ability to contend for the emperor's position. The Lin family has actually secretly cultivated a quasi-emperor. The head of the Eastern family muttered to himself. This could potentially lead to a major reshuffling of power across the entire primitive continent. Patriarch, are you still determined to go to war? Asked the sage of the Dongfang family. War. Fight my asterisk, you're more likely to be courting death. The head of the Dongfang family expressed his exhaustion. Didn't the Lin family's quasi-emperor say it would take 10 years? Actually, 10 years isn't that long. Even if Jing is really ruined by them, there are backup plans. After we go back, let's focus on nurturing Yao. His talent is no weaker than Jing's. The patriarch is wise to see this. The old sage remained calm. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He hadn't lived enough at all, even at such an old age. To give the emperor the cold shoulder is like lighting a light in a toilet. The two of them slunk back to the Dongfang family home. You're asking about those 8 fiery divine steeds? Need you even ask? Of course it was seized. On the other side, Dongfeng Jing was imprisoned in the Lin family's 9 Heavens prison. She was still waiting for the Dongfang family to come and rescue her, standing tall and proud every day, neck stiff, displaying an indomitable revolutionary spirit. She was unaware that her family had unknowingly abandoned her. Lin Xian successfully drove out the head of the Dongfang family, defeated the Dongfang family's sage, and thwarted his arrogance. His prestige among the Lin family members soared once again. At this moment, Lin Xian had become the backbone of the entire Lin family, and in the hearts of everyone in the Lin family he was invincible. However, Lin Xian was in a real bind at this moment. Grandpa, are you feeling unwell anywhere? Lin Wangxin gracefully served a cup of hot tea to Lin Xian. The teacup was filled with ethereal steam and exuded a wonderful fragrance. Ever since the witch was slapped back by Lin Xian, she hasn't come out again. It's basically confirmed that she is the reincarnation of the witch. Even Lin Tianheng has to admit that her conjunctivitis could relapse at any time and there is no possibility of a complete cure. Therefore, if Lin Wangxin doesn't want to die, she must stay by Lin Xian's side. But then again, why did the matriarch make herself wear such light, airy clothes? It's supposedly a maid outfit from another country, but why is the skirt so short? Being a maid isn't exactly a strange profession. Lin Xian glanced at Lin Wangxin and suddenly sighed. Ancestor, are you making things difficult for me because of my situation? Lin Wangxin asked timidly. The so-called witch had reincarnated in her body, turning her into a ticking time bomb. Sometimes Lin Wangxin even felt that perhaps it would be better for her to die, but it has nothing to do with you. Lin Xian said calmly, Witch, can you beat yourself? Although he didn't know why, Lin Xian found himself seemingly invincible. Since we can't beat them, there's nothing to be afraid of. What really gave him a headache was the upcoming sermons and discussions. 3 days ago, he promised Lin Tianheng that he would give a special lecture to the disciples of his family. After all, he claimed to have become an immortal. There was no reason why he couldn't even instruct a group of juniors in the human realm. I really can't offer any guidance. He doesn't know anything about the Tao, he's never even cultivated it. He's just an ordinary person who has lived for 99 years. If you let him play King of Fighters, he's confident he can beat 3 opponents in one go. Asking him to preach is less effective than having him do an impromptu rap, at least that would liven things up. This is going to be difficult. Lin Xian said he had a headache. If all else fails, just run away. Let's do it. Lin Xian immediately stood up and prepared to push open the door, but as soon as he opened it, he saw a figure descending from the sky. It was Lin Tianheng. He came to pick up Lin Xian, but as soon as he landed, he saw Lin Xian push open the door and come out. So the Ancestor had already prepared this all along. Lin Tianheng was both surprised and delighted. Lin Xian, I'm numb. Yes, I'm ready. He feigned composure and said. Lin Tianheng respectfully said, since you anticipated my arrival at this time, Ancestor, you must have made thorough preparations. Please follow me. Everyone has been eagerly awaiting your sermon. Really, haha. Lin Xian gave an awkward laugh. This is truly the end for us. Lin Xian's only hope now is that this lecture will not be open to the public, so not many people will come. However, Lin Wangxin also came with the 2 of them. After all, this lecture was too rare. Although Lin Xian's identity was not made public, the very few people who knew that Lin Xian had become an immortal were desperate to send someone in to listen. This is a celestial being in the mortal realm. Listening to all this, it's not too far-fetched to think that a few quasi-emperors might suddenly come to their senses, is it? When Lin Xian arrived at the debate venue, he found it packed with people with no seats available. Goodness, this time it's really numb. Back in high school, Lin Xian had participated in the literary speech club and made the bold statement, one day I will make this place packed with people. Now that his dream has finally come true, Lin Xian just wants to turn around and run away. However, when she turned her head, she saw Lin Tianheng's expectant gaze. This is truly the end for us. Lin Xian closed his eyes and leaped down from the clouds. Boom! He crashed heavily onto the debating platform like a meteorite. He himself is perfectly fine, but the shoe broke. It was a little awkward, but it's nothing serious. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Lin Xian waved downwards. Everyone stared at each other, completely silent. They're so uncooperative. Okay, Lin Xian sat down on the spot. He used to be a member of the literary speech club and was quite the performer in college, so improvising a rap on the spot shouldn't be a big problem. However, the lack of background music was a bit awkward. Let's just have a poetry recitation instead. Lin Xian thought for a moment, then pulled out the rewards the system had given him for signing in a few days ago. It's called something like Tai Xuan Xian Jing. That seems plausible. Cough, cough. Lin Xian cleared his throat and, following the train of thought, recited the asterisk Tai Xuan immortal scripture in a stiff tone. Subdued and the profound, its boundless movement mirrors the heavens. Yin and yang, with one yang riding on one unity, all things take form. One paragraph finished reading. As expected, there was an awkward silence. Lin Xian secretly glanced at the audience below the stage, only to find that everyone seemed to be lost in thought. Some people looked up at the sky and muttered to themselves. Some people lowered their heads in silence, pondering life. Some people beat their chests in despair, tears streaming down their faces. Some people, in short, basically 99% of people exhibit these symptoms, looking like the best patient of the year selected by a mental hospital, practically with the words mentally ill written all over their faces. Lin Xian was completely stunned. The last time he saw this effect was when the bookseller in his elementary school days put on a show during a lecture. He never imagined he had this ability himself. Goodness, how about another one? Lin Xian continued reading from the Tai Xuan immortal scripture. How glorious is the sun, its brilliance shines forth, its 5 colors radiant. At night it measures yin, by day it measures yang. Lin Xian didn't notice. As he continued chanting, the laws of the void emerged, coalescing into countless incredible phenomena. Cranes sing in competition and 100 flowers bloom in profusion. Mountains rise one after another, the sea is vast and the clouds disperse. Numerous strange phenomena continued to evolve as if the most fundamental laws of heaven and earth had been stirred, surging with each word Lin Xian uttered. This is. Oh my God, that's amazing. Not only the disciples below but even many elders showed expressions of shock. This scene was truly rare. This sutra must exist in heaven. How often can one hear it in the human world? The bottleneck that has bound me for years is loosening. I suddenly felt something. The entire audience was in shock. Only Lin Xian felt awkward. Of the hundreds of people in the audience, everyone except myself seemed to feel quite moved. Isn't this just an ordinary passage of scripture, obscure and difficult to understand? You could at least add a footnote. Lin Xian was unsure whether to continue reading. He had only read 2 paragraphs when the group below seemed to be high on drugs, and he felt that if he continued, something terrible was going to happen. Just as Lin Xian was lost in thought, suddenly, Lin Wangxin, who had been standing behind her, began to breathe rapidly, her face flushed, her chest heaving, and her hair, which had only reached her shoulders, began to grow longer. She swayed and suddenly fainted in Lin Xian's arms. Holy crap! Lin Xian looked at Lin Wangxin in his arms, somewhat bewildered. Girl, is it really that serious? I only recited 2 passages of scripture, why are you so excited? Oh wait, that's not right. It seems like my conjunctivitis has relapsed. Lin Xian raised his hand, intending to use the healing the dead palm technique to suppress the conjunctivitis. Sudden, boom. A terrifying aura descended from the sky. A dazzling golden light carrying an intense killing intent hurtled towards them from afar. Who dares to touch my sister? A powerful and authoritative shout suddenly resounded through the clouds. Boom. A dazzling golden light descended from the sky, directly dispelling all the strange phenomena arising from the laws. Who goes there? The crowd snapped out of their reverie and glared angrily at each other. Then I quickly lowered my head. A girl of about 15 or 16 years old stood high in the sky holding a long spear. Her long hair was tied back in a ponytail, swaying in the wind, giving her a dashing and heroic appearance. Her face was delicate and elegant, and her eyes shone brightly. She was clad in a white gold battle robe, her jade feet treading on long boots, her golden battle skirt enveloping her slender and shapely body, her long, straight, fair legs without an ounce of excess fat, but what was most striking were her eyes, clearer than the sky. Kinger, stop right now. Lin Tianheng quickly called out. Only then did everyone realize what was happening. It turns out that the girl in the sky was none other than Lin Tianheng's eldest daughter, Lin Wangqing. She guards the border and is away from home for many years. Although she looks like a young girl, her strength is extraordinary. It is unknown why she has appeared here. Holding a golden spear, Lin Wangqing ignored Lin Tianheng's voice and coldly surveyed the area below. When she discovered Lin Wangxin, who was unconscious in Lin Xian's arms, her killing intent surged instantly. You be ****D, how dare you lay a hand on my sister? I'll kill you. Lin Wangqing was furious, her long hair fluttering in the wind. No, Lin Tianheng exclaimed. However, she ignored Lin Tianheng's advice and without saying a word directly picked up the golden spear and thrust it at Lin Xian's head. This shot, like thunder, it pierced the sky. It looked as if it wanted to shatter the entire discussion hall. The crowd was terrified, some even collapsed to the ground, so frightened they wet themselves. Completion. Some people simply close their eyes and wait to die. As everyone knows, when Lin Wangqing goes berserk, she's more terrifying than a witch. However, in the very next moment, the golden lightning suddenly stopped in front of Lin Xian's forehead. What? Lin Wangqing's pupils dilated in shock. Lin Xian extended 2 fingers and lightly pinched the tip of the gun. No matter how much Lin Wangqing channeled her powerful inner energy, she couldn't push the golden spear forward even an inch. Who are you? A sense of foreboding rose in Lin Wangqing's heart. The next moment, the dark shape rapidly magnified before her eyes. Snap! Lin Wangqing suddenly felt everything go black. She swayed, then completely lost consciousness. Lin Xian casually tossed the golden spear aside. Of all martial arts skills, this is the palm of healing the dead, Lin Xian's signature skill. Tianheng, what's going on? Lin Xian asked. Lin Tianheng wiped away a cold sweat, trembling as he stepped forward and said in a trembling voice, Reporting to the Ancestor, this is my eldest daughter, Lin Wangking. Oh, so you have an eldest daughter. Lin Xian glanced at Lin Wangking, whom he had knocked unconscious. Although she looks a bit young, her features do resemble Lin Wangxin's by about 70%, making them undoubtedly sisters. Etc. Something seems off. Is Lin Wangking the older sister and Lin Wangxin the younger sister? Judging from her figure, Lin Wangxin is clearly more developed. At first glance, Lin Wangking seemed quite pretty, but upon closer inspection her body, encased in golden armor, was practically flat-chested, no chest, no buttocks, and a delicate face. She was also half a head shorter than Lin Wangxin. Was she really the older sister? Could it be that his family was too poor and didn't have enough to eat when he was a child, leading to stunted growth? And just then, Lin Wangxin suddenly opened her eyes. Those were a pair of terrifying, scarlet eyes. The one who woke up at this moment was no longer Lin Wangxin but the witch. I never expected that even Lin Wangking couldn't kill you. The witch said discontentedly. I said you didn't do this on purpose, did you? Lin Xian's tone was unfriendly. Oops, you found out. The witch lightly covered her red lips, letting out a soft giggle, making no attempt to conceal her laughter. I refuse to believe you're truly invincible. There's definitely someone in this world who can kill you. Lin Xian chuckled lightly. Go ahead and try. No one in this world can harm me in the slightest. HMPH, young man, don't be so arrogant. Is a young person someone who isn't hot-blooded? Snap. Lin Xian slapped him across the face. Ah. The witch gasped, her pretty face suddenly turning bright red. Because Lin Xian's slap actually landed on her, that place, you're a pervert. The witch gritted her teeth and said. The lingering sensation on her buttocks sent a tingling, uncomfortable shiver through her body. I told you, if you dare cause trouble, I'll beat you up. As Lin Xian savored the sensation in his palm, he said calmly, if there's a next time, I'll beat you up again and twice as much. Is that what you call beating someone up? You're just lusting after her body, you're despicable, pa. The witch spat inwardly, then closed her eyes. She swayed slightly. Lin Xian reached out and caught her, preventing her from falling, in the blink of an eye. When Lin Wangxin opened her eyes again, they had returned to their original dark jade color. Huh, what's this? Ah. Lin Wangxin found herself lying in Lin Xian's arms and couldn't help but gasp in surprise. Are you all right? Lin Xian asked, leaning closer. Feeling the masculine presence so close to her, Lin Wangxin's face flushed instantly. Her eyes darted around and she suddenly noticed a young girl lying next to her. Upon closer inspection, oh, what are you doing here, sister? Lin Wangxin asked in surprise. Yes, why is your sister here? Lin Xian turned to look at Lin Tianheng. The latter, looking embarrassed, said, it's like this, when Emperor Hongyu attacked, the family asked her for help, but because the border was too far away and intelligence was difficult to transmit, so. By the time the news reached Kinger, 2 days had already passed. After receiving the news, Kinger immediately set off, missing the subsequent messengers who were supposed to deliver the intelligence. She must have thought you were going to harm Zinner, so she attacked in anger. Oh. Lin nodded. There's no need to be so impulsive. If I hadn't stopped the attack, half the people there would probably be dead. Well, to be honest, Kinger's temper isn't something that just started yesterday. When she gets impulsive, she doesn't care about anything. She's even demolished our ancestral land several times. We had no choice but to send her to guard the border. Lin Tianheng said helplessly. Lin Wangking's temper was notoriously bad. If you anger her, she's capable of doing things like demolishing ancestral land. In the past, a descendant of a sage angered Lin Wangking, who then blocked his door with a gun and cursed him for 3 days and 3 nights, even smashing his door plaque and completely ransacking his vegetable garden on the back hill. Rest assured, Ancestor, I will punish her severely this time, confining her to the 9 Heavens prison for 100 years. Lin Tianheng gritted her teeth and said, forget it, they haven't changed after all this time. What's the point of putting them in solitary confinement once? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. That's enough for today's sermon. It should give you all some time to digest it. Also, have her come see me when she wakes up. Yes. Lin Tianheng finally breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xian stroked his chin. By the way, speaking of the 9 Heavens prison, how is Dongfang Jing doing, the lowest level of the 9 Heavens prison? The environment here was extremely harsh. Filth and blood were piled up in the cracks in the walls, and a stench permeated every corner. Mosquitoes are rampant. It's so big that you can step on 3 cockroaches with one step and swallow 5 mosquitoes with one yawn. Most of those imprisoned here are either extremely vicious criminals or individuals harboring significant secrets. And a few days ago, a beautiful woman has arrived at the Nine Heavens prison. This beautiful woman's cultivation was sealed, and her slender, graceful figure was covered with specially made restraints, firmly fixing her in place. She is none other than Dongfang Jing. As a secret weapon cultivated by the Dongfang family, a talent vying for the throne at the cost of countless resources, Dongfang Jing fully demonstrated his indomitable revolutionary spirit, determined to always stand on the side of the Dongfang family and prepared to face all kinds of torture. Since arriving here, Dongfang Jing has never bowed his head, even though they were covered in heavy restraints, even if it means losing one's cultivation. She stood tall and proud, unlike the Lin family who knelt and bowed their heads. However, Dongfang Jing did not receive the promised severe torture. She even received a warm welcome from mosquitoes. In just a few days, because he had no cultivation, Dongfang Jing was covered in dozens of mosquito bites all over his body. Although my physical condition is such that I won't get injured, but it really itches, Dongfang Jing became somewhat unsettled. My unwavering resilience isn't just for show. Come and interrogate me. Let me demonstrate my revolutionary spirit, okay? You just let the mosquitoes bite me. Can mosquitoes understand my revolutionary spirit? Dongfang Jing was in a daze, spending 3 days in the dungeon making love with mosquitoes and cockroaches. 3 days later, she didn't receive help from the Dongfang family, nor did she face interrogation from the Lin family. Instead, she was greeted by that very handsome young man. Your Nine Heavens prison doesn't even use insecticide. Oh, this. We need to consider human rights. Prisoners have human rights too. Our ancestors' lesson is correct. The steward of the Nine Heavens prison, a middle-aged fat man with an annoyingly smug face, led Lin Xian on a respectful tour of the prison. Good heavens, this is impressive. This is definitely a central government leader going down to the local level to inspect the grassroots. Many people in the Nine Heavens prison were shocked and peeked out to see who this person was who could command such respect from the prison's manager. Wow, so handsome! Many of the female prisoners couldn't help but gasp in surprise. The male prisoners all rolled their eyes, not bothering to watch. He's a pretty boy with no cultivation whatsoever. He's probably the illegitimate son of some high-ranking elder. What's so interesting about it? After dealing with Lin Wonking, Lin Xian suddenly remembered that Dongfang Jing was still imprisoned in the Nine Heavens prison, so he came down to investigate. Unexpectedly, the environment of the Nine Heavens prison was so harsh. Is this acceptable? As one of the most powerful families on the original continent, the Lin family is fully capable of improving the living conditions of the prisoners. As a socialist successor born under the red flag and raised in the sunshine with impeccable revolutionary credentials, Lin Xian believes that even prisoners should have the most basic human rights and that mistreating prisoners is unacceptable. The first thing he demanded of the guards of the Nine Heavens prison was, spray insecticide. The reason is simple. Before transmigrating, Lin Xian was a northerner. Looking at those fist-sized cockroaches that could flutter around, he got goosebumps all over. He simply couldn't stand it. So the once arrogant supervisors could only silently take the insecticide spray and go to each cell to spray mosquito repellent. The situation became quite awkward. Dongfang Jing was so moved that he almost cried. She had never hated mosquitoes so much. At one point, she even swore in her heart to kill every single mosquito in the world, otherwise it wouldn't be enough to quell the resentment in her heart. Seeing these supervisors spraying insecticide under Lin Xian's orders, her feelings were suddenly incredibly complicated. Without those damned mosquitoes and cockroaches, she felt like she had entered paradise. She was about to shed tears of gratitude. Just then, Lin Xian arrived at her cell door and saw Dongfang Jing, who was restrained and locked up, looking disheveled through the iron bars. Dongfang Jing immediately held back her tears. With red eyes, she said, "What are you doing here? Are you here to laugh at me? Don't be rude." The guards of the Nine Heavens prison were furious and grabbed their whips, ready to lash her a couple of times. Dongfang Jing stiffened his neck. Come on, let's fight. I'll show you my indomitable revolutionary spirit. And seeing this scene, Lin Xian was furious. He roared, "Stop it." Ugh. The manager was stunned. Dongfeng Jing was also stunned. When dealing with beautiful women, we should be as gentle as a spring breeze and as tender as a stream, using love and justice to influence them. We must never use such violent means, Lin Xian said righteously. Dongfeng Jing, you weren't like this when you hit me. Judging from the steward's constipated look, he probably thought the same thing, but neither of them dared to say it. Lin Xian walked up to Dongfang Jing and looked at Dongfang Jing's miserable appearance. As the saying goes, a beautiful woman is beautiful at all times. Even if she is locked up in a prison and tortured, she will not lose her composure. That's how it's portrayed in movies and TV dramas. Even after being tormented by mosquitoes and cockroaches for 3 days, Dongfeng Jing still held his head high, full of arrogance. That's just her personality. She would never bow down to the enemy. To her, the entire Lin family was her enemy. Lin Xian extended a finger and gently tapped on the restraints on Dongfeng Jing's body. Click. The restraints, crafted from black iron and refined gold and imbued with secret runes, were destroyed on the spot. Restraints, I've cracked. The steward standing behind Lin Xian twitched at the corner of his mouth, thinking to himself, "Master, why didn't you just tell me if you needed to unlock it? I have the key." This thing is so expensive it costs a fortune. However, he ultimately remained silent, not for any other reason than that he hadn't lived enough yet. Trying to bribe me like this, don't even dream about it. I won't reveal any information about the Dongfang family, nor will I risk my life for you. Just kill me. Dongfeng Jing possesses an unyielding spirit. Born a member of the Dongfeng family, die a ghost of the Dongfeng family. Even if I, Dongfeng Jing, starve to death, die outside, or jump off the 9 Heavens prison, I would rather not eat a single grain of rice from the Lin family. Lin Xian paused for a moment, then turned to the steward behind him. Didn't you tell her? No. The manager looked utterly embarrassed. Explain? Say what? Dongfeng Jing frowned, sensing that something was amiss. Lin Xian patted her shoulder and said in a deep voice, I have good news and bad news for you. Which do you want to hear first? Want to hear the good news first? Dongfeng Jing asked tentatively. The Dongfeng family sent people. Your patriarch descended from the sky on 8 blazing divine steeds, accompanied by a saint, nearly crushing the Lin family's threshold. Upon hearing this, Dongfeng Jing shuddered, his whole body becoming much more energetic, and a light appeared in his eyes. It's finally here. As expected, the Dongfeng family will not abandon me. And the bad news. Dongfeng Jing was full of confidence. Lin Xian, the bad news is that I chased them all away. Oriental mirror. The question mark is the most concise and powerful language in the world. A simple punctuation mark can contain infinite possibilities, carrying different meanings in different contexts, and even possessing a vast amount of information in itself. When a woman types it's the start of an argument between a man and a woman. When a marksman types, that's the start of a greeting from the Zonites. When the client types, it's the beginning of a designer's nightmare. At this very moment, Dongfeng Jing typed a question mark. You might not fully understand the current situation, but you won't be able to go back for the next 10 years. Lin Xian shrugged. I told your master that I'd make you stay by my side as a slave for 10 years, and after 10 years I'd release you as a free man. Then your master left without looking back. Dongfeng Jing. Don't lie to me. I'm a dog if I lie. Lin Xian raised his right hand. I swear in the name of the Azure Profound Emperor I am absolutely not lying. Anyway, Emperor Qingshuan has been dead for 100,000 years and his bones have all weathered away, so he shouldn't be able to rise from the dead. Dongfeng Jing clearly believed Lin Xian's words to some extent, and then his face showed obvious disappointment. She never imagined that she would be so easily abandoned by her family. This feeling is like being a seasoned office worker who has dedicated their youth to the company, never taking a day off in 20 years and then suddenly being fired. Lin Xian quickly comforted her, saying, but don't be too disappointed. I guarantee the Lin family won't do anything to you. Once the 10-year period is up, I'll let you return to the Dongfeng family. I swear in the name of the Azure Profound Emperor that I will never break my promise. Emperor Kingshuan, are you bullying me because I died young? Dongfeng Jing trusted Lin Xian even more. This handsome and skilled young man didn't seem like a bad person, but she couldn't help asking, but why are you helping me like this? Lin Xian smiled and said, of course there are conditions. Really? Dongfeng Jing sighed. There's no such thing as a free lunch. She rallied her spirits and declared righteously, state your conditions. I'll say it again, I Dongfeng Jing will never betray the Dongfeng family. Anything but betraying the Dongfeng family. Lin Xian looked Dongfeng Jing up and down. Dongfeng Jing. She suddenly felt a sense of crisis. Something she had preserved for 24 years was about to be lost. Don't go too far. Dongfeng Jing subconsciously squeezed her legs together, crossed her arms in front of her chest, and a hint of shyness appeared on her face. Lin Xian, what kind of person do you take me for? Dongfeng Jing, I almost didn't treat you like a human being. Forget it, you're really overthinking it, my request is very simple. Lin Xian clapped his hands. Bring my treasure up. Splash. Several managers pushed a frame forward. Dongfeng Jing turned his head to look. On the shelf was a black and white dress with black puff sleeves, layers of snow-white lace embroidered on the skirt and a large bow at the waist. The skirt was so short that it barely covered half of her thighs. Dongfeng Jing, you're not going to make me wear this, are you? Lin Xian, it's just the two of us here. If you don't wear it, am I supposed to, this day? Dongfeng Jing left the Nine Heavens prison. At the same time, the precious item she had carefully protected for 24 years was gone forever. The name of that precious item is dignity. On the other side, Lin Wonking slowly woke up. She rubbed her temples, feeling a headache coming on as if she'd been hit by an ancient behemoth. Oh right, where's my sister? Lin Wonking suddenly remembered the purpose of her return to the Lin family, grabbed the golden spear and prepared to get up. But just then, a soft voice made her stop moving instantly. Sister, I'm here. Lin Wonking turned her head and saw Lin Wongson sitting quietly to the side, her soft hair brushing against her neck. Her eyes instantly flashed with an eerie light. Lin Wongson seemed to realize something and instinctively stepped back, but it was too late. Lin Wonking reached out her large hand and without saying a word, pulled Lin Wongson onto the bed. Ah, sister, no. Let me see. Wait, don't tear my clothes. Heh. Lin Wongxin's struggles quickly ceased as she herself realized it was futile. In the end, she could only blush and let Lin Wonking touch her all over. The following is omitted 5,000 words. All in all, after a somewhat over-the-top examination, Lin Wonking finally breathed a sigh of relief. Little sister, you're all right. I'm so relieved now. Sister, why are you always like this? Lin Wongxin pursed her lips, her large, watery eyes brimming with tears. You've torn all my clothes, now I can't even leave the house. It's okay, you can wear mine. Lin Wonking patted her flat chest, full of confidence. Lin Wongxin glanced at herself. I probably can't wear it right. Lin Wonking glanced at herself. I guess I can barely wear it. Don't say things like, I'm the older sister but I'm smaller than my younger sister. After calming down, Lin Wonking realized that the room she was in was actually her former bedroom. She used to live here before she went to guard the border, and occasionally she would spend the night with Lin Wongxin. Surprisingly, it's still there. Sister, you were too reckless. You almost caused a disaster. Lin Wongxin, her clothes disheveled, scolded playfully. A rare hint of shame appeared on Lin Wongking's face. The only person who could elicit such an expression from her was Lin Wongxin. She couldn't help but ask, Sister, I heard you were being chased by the Emperor and that's why you rushed back. What exactly happened? That's how it is. Lin Wongxin recounted the whole story from the beginning. The witch appeared multiple times. The Emperor noticed. After confirming that Lin Wongxin truly possessed the reincarnation of a witch, Emperor Hongyu launched a relentless pursuit to kill her. Despite strong opposition, Lin Tianheng decided to protect her, even pleading with the emperor for peace talks, willing to pay a heavy price just to save Lin Wongxin's life. However, Emperor Hongyu made a vow to uphold the Great Tao. Lin Wongxin must be killed, to the highest heavens and the deepest hells. This oath drove the Lin family to the brink of despair. They tried every possible means, even seeking help from Lin Wonking, who was far away on the border. Peng, Lin Wonking smashed the bed frame with a single punch. That damn emperor, he's got a death wish. Lin Wangqing's small face was contorted with rage. How dare you touch my sister? Today I, Lin Wangqing, swear that I will search the heavens and the underworld to kill Emperor Hongyu. Buzz. The Tao, though seemingly unseen, responded. A vow made on the Great Way should not be taken lightly. Once made, it is like putting a tight rein on oneself. If Lin Wangqing were to ever meet Emperor Hongyu, the two would surely be locked in a life-or-death struggle. Lin Wangxin covered her face with her hands, almost bursting into tears. He actually swore an oath to the Great Tao, vowing to kill the Great Emperor, as expected of the older sister. They're capable of anything. By the way, where's that damned Emperor Hongyu? Let him come out and have a go at me, Lin Wangqing. Lin Wangqing said menacingly. Lin Wangxin, she died 3 days ago. Lin Wangqing typed a question mark. Seeing the confusion in her eyes, Lin Wangxin began to tell the second half of the story. To be precise, the story's pacing became increasingly absurd after Lin Xian's appearance like a runaway horse. Soon, Lin Wangqing learned the whole story, all in all. After the old man opened the ancestral tomb, the azure profound ancestor was brought back to life on the spot and jumped out of the grave. Then he smashed Emperor Hongyu to pieces with a single punch. Then he smashed the reincarnated witch to pieces with a single punch. Then he smashed the Dongfang family to pieces with a single punch. Then I punched him to pieces. Oh, so I was the one who got punched to pieces. Oh well, never mind. Lin Wangqing became increasingly confused as she listened and finally couldn't help but interrupt. Little sister, have you been reading too many novels lately? Lin Wangxin. Sister, no matter how many novels I read, my brain is still better than yours. Lin Wangqing, it seems like that's how it is. She was completely dumbfounded. The events, which were initially fraught with crisis, took a wild turn in the second half, becoming comical, or more accurately, a bit too absurd. Just as a world-class piano virtuoso is playing Wedding March, the rhythm suddenly shifts at the climax and it starts playing Fruit Ninja. How could someone in the world live for 100,000 years? Lin Wangqing was completely bewildered. Well, you should ask father and the others, I don't know much about it either. Lin Wangxin looked helpless. But speaking of which, sister, your plan to attack the ancestor almost terrified everyone. Father even wanted to punish you by imprisoning you in the 9 Heavens prison for 100 years. I'm only 25, absolutely not. Lin Wangqing stuck out her tongue. Dongfang Jing's invasion of the Lin family failed. He was personally captured by the patriarch and imprisoned in the 9 Heavens prison. Right. Ha ha ha, I never thought that Dongfang Jing would have his day. Lin Wangqing burst into laughter. She and Dongfang Jing were fierce rivals. They were almost the same age and their cultivation and talent were nearly identical. They had been competing for a long time. It only stopped when Lin Wangqing was sent to the border. No one understands Dongfang Jing better than Lin Wangqing. That arrogant, haughty girl who never bowed her head actually lost. Heh heh, just imagining her ragged and miserable state after her defeat makes me feel hot all over. Lin Wangqing's breathing quickened, her azure eyes flickering, as if she had awakened some strange fetish. Lin Wangxin, sis, you're the one who should read fewer novels. After the initial excitement, Lin Wangqing sighed and waved her hand, saying, but that's just wishful thinking. I know Dongfang Jing too well. She'd rather die than submit. Even if imprisoned in the 9th Heavens prison, it probably wouldn't even flinch from severe torture. Even if she dies in the 9 Heavens prison, she will never bow her head to anyone. Lin Wangqing's eyes flickered. The Dongfang Jing she knew was such a person with unwavering convictions. The word yield simply didn't exist in his dictionary. Such a determined person. How could someone possibly show a vulnerable side due to severe torture? Our ancestor has extraordinary abilities, who knows? Lin Wangxin said hesitantly. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Lin Wangqing waved her hand and said, to put it bluntly, what good is a mere old man who crawled out of his grave? He can only fight a little, his mindset is way out of touch with the times. If other members of the family had heard these words, they would probably have been terrified. They dare to insult even our ancestors, they're truly courting death. Lin Wangxin simply smiled helplessly. She knew her older sister's temper all too well. Oh, by the way, the ancestor specifically instructed you to go see him after you wake up. Are you planning to confront me? Lin Wonking stood up holding a golden spear with a resolute gaze. I'm going to confront that old B** D right now. Lin Wongxin quickly stopped her. Sister, the Ancestor is actually a very good person. He even helped me suppress the witch inside me. How did he suppress it? Lin Wonking asked, puzzled. Lin Wongxin, slap him. Lin Wonking. All in all, Lin Wongxin went to great lengths to explain before convincing Lin Wonking that Lin Xian meant no harm and made her swear that she wouldn't act rashly and attack Lin Xian again. Only then did they agree to let Lin Wonking go to meet Lin Xian. Lin Wonking, carrying a long spear and clad in golden armor, her azure eyes clear as ice, advanced towards Lin Xian's direction. Judging from their posture, it didn't seem like they were going to a meeting. It looked more like they were going to the battlefield, about to fight the enemy general for 800 rounds. Lin Wongxin covered her face and followed behind her sister. She felt that all her words had been wasted. If things continue like this, my sister might do something stupid in a moment of excitement. Although Lin Wonking verbally promised her sister that she wouldn't act impulsively, she was actually convinced that this suddenly appearing ancestor was definitely an imposter. After all, no one can live for 100,000 years, let alone rise from the dead. He must have used some means to bewitch the family. HMPH, let me, Lin Wonking, expose your true colors. Lin Wonking arrived at the door. Peng. Just kick it right there, sister. Lin Wongxin nearly fainted from fright. Before she could stop Lin Wonking, the latter had already strode inside, carrying a golden spear. Lin Wonking was about to speak. Sudden, her eyes widened. A tall, upright young man was sitting in the center of the Tang dynasty. He had thick, jet-black hair, a pair of bright, piercing eyes, and a refined, elegant appearance. His features were distinct, like a meticulously sculpted work of art, and his angular face was exceptionally handsome. Behind the young man stood a woman. The woman was wearing a black and white dress with black puff sleeves and layers of snow-white lace embroidered on the hem. A large bow was tied at her waist, and her snow-white neck was as slender and long as a swan's. The scenery beneath the subtly revealed lace skirt is captivating. The woman bit her lower lip tightly, her shattered eyes filled with humiliation. Master, master, this is your tea. She bent down gently and presented the tea from the tray in her hand to Lin Xian with utmost respect. You're still not very familiar with your lines, you need to practice more. Zio Jing, Lin Xian said seriously. No, it should be, yes master. Yes master. Good girl, go down now. Yes. Dressed in a maid outfit, Dongfang Jing looked humiliated, yet she had no choice but to obey this man's every word. Lin Wonking watched this scene without saying a word for a long time. Lin Wongxin rushed over in a panic, trying to dissuade her. Sister, please don't act impulsively. Thump, he hadn't finished speaking. Lin Wonking bent her knees and immediately knelt before Lin Xian, her knee pads made of immortal gold slamming into the floor and creating two dents. Lin Xian was a little confused. Lin Wongxin was stunned. To actually make someone as stubborn and unyielding as Dongfang Jing obey your every word, you're incredibly powerful. You must be Ancestor Qingshuan without a doubt. Lin Wonking, tears streaming down her face, clenched her fists and cried, Ancestor, please accept me as your disciple. Without saying a word, she kowtowed 3 times to Lin Xian. Thump, 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 Lin Xian. He glanced at the large crater left by Lin Wonking's head, then turned to look at Lin Wongxin. Lin Xian, is your sister really that stubborn? Lin Wongxin, I'm numb all in all. Lin Wonking expressed her desire for Lin Xian to take her as his disciple. Although this is a bit sudden, what would you like me to teach you? Lin Xian asked. Lin Wonking replied without hesitation, of course, I'll learn from you, Ancestor, how to train women. Lin Xian. It seems there must be some misunderstanding. He only offered to keep Dongfang Jing by his side as a maid for the next 10 years in exchange for not making things difficult for her in order to prevent her from betraying her family. As for why Dongfang Jing was made a maid, having a maid with a slim waist, large breasts, and long legs is every man's dream. Lin Xian was no exception. Male charm is something you're born with. I'm sorry I can't teach you that. Lin Xian said, and speaking of which, you're a woman. Lin Wonking gritted her teeth and said, "Ancestor, as long as you're willing to teach me the secrets of training women, I'll be your slave from now on." Lin Xian. Looks like they really took the wrong medicine. Just then, a figure rushed in and without saying a word slammed a hammer into Lin Wonking's head. Clang. I wonder if it's just my imagination. Lin Xian seemed to hear a sound like the forging of iron. "Ouch, father, why did you hit me?" Lin Wonking said, displeased. The person who arrived was Lin Tianheng. Upon hearing that Lin Wan had regained consciousness and gone to find Lin Xian with her spear, he immediately sensed something was wrong and rushed over as fast as he could. Upon entering, I took a look, although I don't know what happened. But the three large craters in the floor clearly told Lin Tianheng that something terrible had just happened. "I didn't hit you hard enough." Lin Tianheng's beard trembled with anger. "When are you going to change this temper? Are you going to kill us all before you're done?" "I don't. You dare talk back, I'll beat you to death." Lin Wonking stubbornly refused to admit her mistake. Lin Tianheng's facial muscles trembled. How could he possibly bring himself to do it? Besides, he knew Lin Wonking's temper. No matter how much he hit her, it would be futile. He could only turn to Lin Xian for help. "Lin Xian, why are you looking at me? If your daughter is sick, treat her yourself. I don't even know her." After much deliberation, Lin Xian finally spoke up. "Taking you as my disciple isn't out of the question, but I have one condition." Does the Ancestor intend to take Kinger as his disciple? This time it was Lin Tianheng's turn to be stunned, followed by an unexpected surge of joy. "Ancestor, are you really going to take Kinger in?" "Lin Xian, what you're saying is a bit ridiculous." He thought for a moment and said, "If you want me to take you as my apprentice, you must first change your temper." "Can you do that?" "It's innate, it can't be changed," Lin Wonking said righteously. "Lin Xian, that's incredibly stubborn." However, Lin Xian didn't dislike girls with this kind of personality. He believed that the most important thing for a woman was her individuality. If she had no individuality and only obeyed men blindly, wouldn't she be no different from, cough cough, well, what? "Get back to the border." Lin Tianheng scolded. "I'm not going back, father, I've made up my mind." Lin Wan said crisply, "My sister is going to Tianlin Academy soon, and in her current condition, she needs someone to take care of her. Let me go instead. You don't need to worry about this." "I'm going." "No." The father and daughter started arguing again. Lin Xian sighed and rubbed his forehead in exasperation. This was supposed to be just a normal conversation, so why did it turn out like this? Where exactly did things start to go wrong? Just then, Dongfeng Jing, dressed in a lace-made outfit, walked up carrying a plate of pastries and wearing high heels. Her gaze inadvertently fell upon Lin Wonking kneeling on the ground. Splash! The tray slipped from his hands and shattered into pieces. She was completely stunned. Lin Wonking, how did you end up here?" Dongfeng Jing said in a trembling voice. Lin Wonking stared at the thighs exposed under Dongfeng Jing's skirt, her eyes gleaming. She immediately pounced on Dongfeng Jing like a hungry tiger. "Master, help me!" Dongfeng Jing exclaimed in surprise. Snap! The palm technique for saving lives and healing the wounded. Lin Xian acted decisively, slapping the guy into the ground. Lin Wonking is beyond saving. Lin Tianheng's lips twitched as she looked at the ravaged floor. Since he is the Ancestor, his room must be of the highest standard in the Lin family. The floor of the room is made from a single ancient tree that is 10,000 years old, and each pit contains tens of thousands of spirit stones. Judging from this, at least 100,000 spirit stones have evaporated. Does the family's money just fall from the sky? However, at least Lin Wonking has quieted down. Dongfeng Jing hid behind Lin Xian with lingering fear. She had no cultivation now, and if she fell into Lin Wonking's hands, she would definitely be in a terrible situation. Especially Lin Wonking's look just now. It was like a starving wolf that hadn't eaten for 3 days seeing a little lamb. Its mouth was watering. Lin Wonkson, standing to the side, covered her face. She was numb and didn't want to see anything. Having such an older sister is exhausting for her. She'd rather get rid of her as soon as possible. "Don't forget to call someone to fix the floor later and move her out while you're at it." Lin Xian shook his hand. "I don't know if it was just my imagination, but when I slapped Lin Wonking on the head just now, it felt like I was striking iron. Is this guy really that stubborn?" Lin Tianheng picked up Lin Wonqing and prepared to leave when Lin Xian suddenly called out to him. By the way, what's the deal with Tianlin Academy that Lin Wonqing mentioned earlier? This matter. Clang. Lin Tianheng casually tossed Lin Wonqing aside, her head hit the ground, creating another crater. He's basically given up on himself. Since the entire floor needs to be replaced anyway, I might as well smash it a couple of times to satisfy my urge to do it myself. This feels kind of good. Lin Xian, this family isn't quite right. After Lin Tianheng's explanation, Lin Xian finally understood what Tianlin Academy was. Tianlin Academy is an organization dedicated to cultivating talent. Its strength is second to none in the entire primitive continent. Every 10 years, it recruits a large number of qualified disciples to study at the academy, including elites from various families. Of course, for most members of the family, this is not actually necessary, but this time is different. The once-in-a-millennium heavenly demon realm is about to open, and only Tianlin Academy possesses the means to do so. As a result, various families are sending their elite offspring who meet the requirements to Tianlin Academy, hoping to get a share of the spoils. Even the Lin family is no exception. The heavenly demon's secret realm opens once every 1,000 years, containing countless resources that are highly coveted even by imperial clans. Therefore, the Lin family never misses an opportunity to participate, Lin Tianheng said. Then, a hint of worry appeared between his brows. But this year, the only one in the family who meets the admission requirements of Tianlin Academy is Zinner. Originally, we planned to send Zinner to study there, but first she was chased by the great emperor, and then she was haunted by the witch. I'm afraid she's no longer suitable to go to Tianlin Academy. Therefore, our Lin family had no choice but to give up on the opening of the heavenly demon realm this time. The most crucial element is still the witch. When Lin Wonqing is possessed by a witch, her strength is comparable to that of a saint. Only Lin Xian can suppress her. Lin Xian pondered, in that case, why don't I go with Lin Wonqing? This. Lin Tianheng thought about it and said it wasn't impossible, but she was afraid it would be too much trouble for the Ancestor. Before he could speak, a hurried shout suddenly came from outside the door. Report. Special envoys from the Western Gate family of the Eastern region and the Mu family of the Central region have arrived. They actually sent an envoy at this time. Snort. Lin Tianheng snorted coldly, then said, Ancestor, please wait a moment, I'll be right back. Lin Xian, oh. Lin Tianheng turned and left. About 15 minutes later, Lin Tianheng returned, carrying a huge pile of rare and precious herbs filling half the room. Father, are you all right? Lin Wonqing asked with some concern. Of course nothing will happen. Lin Tianheng flicked her long sleeves, glanced at Dongfeng Jing and said nothing. The latter, knowing that everyone was about to discuss family matters, was preparing to avoid danger when Lin Xian said, no need for all that trouble, just say it directly. Well, okay. The Ximen family is an imperial clan in the eastern region, while the Mu family is an imperial clan in the central region. In terms of status, they are behemoths on par with the Lin family. The two families' arrival at this time was naturally intended to probe the Lin family's current situation. 4 or 5 days had passed since Emperor Hongyu was killed by Lin Xian with a single punch, and various forces and powerful figures on the primal continent should have already learned some information. Many people initially believed that with Emperor Hongyu's intervention, the Lin family's demise was inevitable. However, several days passed. Not only was the Lin family unharmed, but Emperor Hongyu was nowhere to be found, and even the laws of heaven and earth dispersed. The numerous unusual phenomena finally made these large families unable to hold back any longer. The calm was merely a facade. In reality, they were frantically using all sorts of methods to gather intelligence and uncover the truth. In this situation, quite a few people have even obtained genuine intelligence. However, nobody believes it. The Azure Profound Ancestor has been resurrected and killed Emperor Hongyu with a single punch, hee. Even a dog wouldn't believe it. As members of the same imperial family, it's normal for us to care about each other, isn't it? Lin Xian said, how could that be? Lin Tianheng shook his head. They're all sharks that bite at the smell of blood. If the Lin family were weak, they wouldn't hesitate to start a war and divide the Lin family up. Fortunately, you, Ancestor, were there to oversee things which prevented that from happening. Lin Xian said calmly, fearless. Let him come, anyone who offends the Lin family will be killed without mercy. Lin Tianheng stood firm. Although spoken in a calm tone, these words were filled with unparalleled confidence and arrogance as if they wanted to rival the heavens. But Lin Xian certainly had the confidence to back it up. How long until that academy opens its secret realm? Lin Xian asked. The deadline for Tianlin Academy's enrollment is in 40 days. Zinner must arrive at Tianlin Academy within 40 days, otherwise she will be considered to have automatically given up this opportunity, Lin Tianheng said. Lin Xian said calmly, then I will stay here for a month. If anyone dares to invade, I will make an example of them. These words sent a chill down everyone's spine. As expected of our ancestor, no matter your schemes or tests, as long as I remain here, we are invincible. In that case, I'll make the arrangements. Lin Tianheng turned to leave after speaking but was quickly called back by Lin Xian. Take your daughter away first and don't forget to call someone to replace the flooring. Lin Tianheng. No. Damn it, I completely forgot about replacing the flooring. 100,000 spirit stones, sob sob sob. Lin Tianheng, his face ashen, dragged Lin Wonking away. The immortal gold armor he wore shone brilliantly, almost blindingly so. Lin Wongson, Lin Xian turned to look aside. Go and keep an eye on your sister again. After she wakes up, tell her. Never mind, don't let her come looking for me. Let her rest on her own. Lin Wongson, oh. She left with a blank expression. I said, can you let me go now? Lin Xian turned to look behind him. Dongfeng Jing, dressed in a lace-made outfit, was still hiding behind him, clutching his clothes and trembling. You're not that scared, are you? Master, please don't leave Lin Wonking and me alone. Dongfeng Jing said in a trembling voice. Lin Xian asked curiously, did you two have any past conflicts or disagreements? I don't know either. Every time Lin Wonking sees me, her eyes look like she wants to devour me. I suspect that she was the one who made my underwear disappear a few times, Dongfeng Jing said through gritted teeth. Lin Xian, it can't be that bad, can it? No matter what, Lin Wonking was at least a half-saint level expert. He wouldn't do something as perverted as stealing women's underwear. Well, it's hard to say. This family seems to have some issues. Lin Xian comforted her. Don't worry, as my personal maid, I won't push you into a fire pit. After all, I'm not a demon. Dongfeng Jing was moved to tears. I'm relieved to hear you say that. Lin Xian plans to stay at the Lin family's ancestral land for a month, eliminating the invaders as a warning to others. These words immediately put the clan members at ease. The 3 saints of the Lin family were severely injured by Emperor Hongyu and will need a long time to recuperate. Even if the Lin family survives the crisis, its foundation will be greatly affected and its strength will be unprecedentedly weak. Surrounded by powerful enemies, it may be destroyed at any time, putting aside other things. The mere fact that the Eastern family head brought the old sage to attack earlier would have exposed the Lin family's weakness, leading to further disaster. Fortunately, the patriarch was there to keep them in check, which kept them in check. She even kept the talented woman she had nurtured with great resources, a potential vying for the throne, by her side as a maid. It was truly a case of losing both her wife and her army. As expected of the Ancestor, King Xuan is awesome. With our patriarch overseeing the family, we can be safe and sound. Everyone was full of confidence. However, to everyone's surprise, those formidable enemies lurking in the shadows were extremely patient, never revealing themselves even when the Lin family deliberately feigned weakness. The Lin family wanted to make an example of someone, but their hidden enemies were also waiting for the first to step forward, none of them wanting to be the first. The 2 sides managed to maintain a delicate balance, but that won't do. Lin Xian is already preparing to go to Tianlin Academy with Lin Wongson. He only has 1 month left to oversee the Lin family. A month later, Lin Xian was no longer able to remain in charge of the Lin family. If a formidable enemy were to strike from the shadows, Lin Xian might not be able to return in time. Why don't we just go and attack them directly? We'll wipe them all out one by one. Lin Xian said in an extremely domineering manner. Lin Tianheng wiped away a bead of cold sweat. Even a mighty emperor wouldn't dare to make such arrogant remarks, but considering Lin Xian's strength, he might actually be able to do it. It is possible, but it is impossible to eliminate all hidden enemies. After all, the vastness of the primitive continent is unimaginable, and there will always be dangers lurking in the shadows. On the contrary, it might attract more attention and cause unnecessary trouble for the Lin family. Lin Xian thought for a moment, then said, "Since that's the case, let's change our approach and be flexible." What? Lin Tianheng asked in confusion. "If no one attacks us, then we'll attack ourselves." Lin Tianheng was stunned. "Fighting yourself? How do I fight this? Slap yourself in the face?" Lin Xian slammed his hand on the table and said, "Call your stubborn eldest daughter over here. It's time for her to contribute to the family." Peng. Lin Wonking, with a burst of sparks and lightning, smashed the door of Lin Xian's room with her head. "Ancestor, I heard you were looking for me," Lin Wonking said excitedly. Lin Tianheng followed behind her, utterly dejected. "The door to this room is made of thousand-year-old Leyang wood, priceless. Money just falls from the sky, right?" When the maid Dongfeng Jing, who was serving tea and water, saw Lin Wonking, she instinctively shuddered and immediately hid behind Lin Xian. Lin Xian clearly didn't care. He smiled and said, "Lin Wonking." Lin Wonking quickly said, "Grandmother, please don't be so formal, just call me Zioking." "Okay, Zioking." Lin Xian cleared his throat and asked, "I heard that you used to wander the primitive continent and offended many people because of your personality, so you have many enemies." "Yes, I know a lot of people don't like me," Lin Wonking said defiantly. "Ancestor, you didn't call me here just to say this, did you? Forgive me for being honest, but they brought it on themselves. Who told them to be so deserving of a beating? Once I'm strong enough, I'll crush them all sooner or later. Ancestor, if you summon me here just to say this, then let's forget about it." Lin Wonking shook her head. Clearly, Lin Tianheng had mentioned this matter to her quite a bit over the years, but old habits die hard. If Lin Wonking could change her temper, she wouldn't be called Lin Wonking. Lin Xian laughed and said, "That's unrelated. I wanted to ask something else. Are there guys you can't beat but you just really dislike them?" Lin Wonking was stunned. "Does it exist or not?" "Have." Lin Wonking's eyes darted around and she said, "In the North Sea there's a saint named Kunyu. Relying on a trace of Kunpeng bloodline, he's incredibly powerful and skilled in water escape techniques. For hundreds of years, he's run rampant in the North Sea, bullying men and women and committing all sorts of evil deeds. I find him particularly distasteful and have long wanted to stab him to death with my spear." Lin Xian frowned slightly. "A saint so weak?" Lin Tianheng almost couldn't catch her breath. He quickly replied, "Ancestor, the sage is not weak, truly not weak. You may not know this, but in this era, even a sage is a reclusive master. The great sage realm beyond that consists of ancient monsters who have lived for thousands of years, some even sealed away tens of thousands of years ago. They are rarely seen in daily life." "I see, what a pity. I was hoping to find a quasi-emperor or even an emperor-level one," Lin Xian sighed. Lin Tianheng wiped away her sweat. "Quasi-emperor, the great emperor. Only the patriarch would dare to say such a thing. If the outside world knew that the Lin family dared to plot against a powerhouse of this level, they would probably laugh themselves to death." Lin Wonking, a sked Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter. "Ancestor, why are you asking about this?" "Fine, a saint it is then." Lin Xian decided to make do, given the time constraints. "Go and burn down that Kunyu saint's hometown. Just say I ordered you to do it." So I'm asking you, do you dare or not?" "Dare." Lin Wonking answered without hesitation. Lin Xian waved his hand dismissively. "Then hurry up and go. Remember to make sure that Saint Kunyu knows it was you who did it." "Okay." Lin Wonking was about to leave excitedly when she suddenly turned her head and came back. "What's wrong?" Lin Xian asked. Lin Wonking chuckled and said, "Ancestor, look how far the North Sea is from our eastern region. It's exhausting for me to travel all that way, and I even risk being hunted down by a saint. It's so tiring." Lin Xian couldn't help but smile. Lin Tianheng said with a dark face, "Just go when I tell you to. Stop with the nonsense." "Don't say that," Lin Xian waved his hand. "This matter is indeed quite troublesome and there should be a reward. Tell me, what do you want?" Hehe, speak quickly, stop beating around the bush. It's nothing, Lin Wonking said, her gaze involuntarily drifting to Dongfang Jing behind Lin Xian. It's just, when I get back, could I borrow your maid to play with, and serve me for a couple of days? Upon hearing this, Dongfang Jing's face showed a look of horror. Really? Despite her impeccable attire, Lin Wonking ultimately revealed her beastly side. This guy really did have ulterior motives towards me? Fine. Lin Xian had promised himself that he would never push himself into a fire pit. You can rest assured, sure, no problem. Lin Xian nodded readily. Lin Wonking was overjoyed, really. Of course, a word I Lin Xian keep its word. What the hell? Dongfeng Jing was completely bewildered. Before she could even speak, Lin Wonking soared into the sky with her golden spear, disappearing in the blink of an eye 1,000 miles away. Dongfeng Jing, please lock me up in the Nine Heavens prison as soon as possible. 3 days later, Lin Wonking flew back from outside, wobbling slightly. Her immortal golden armor was almost shattered and she looked disheveled and utterly wretched. Lin Tianheng quickly stepped forward to greet her. Father, father. Lin Wonking swayed and then fell straight down from the air. King, are you? Lin Tianheng was horrified. Beneath Lin Wonking's golden armor, blood gushed forth, large patches of exposed skin covered in wounds, and many bones in her body were broken. In particular, the breastplate on her chest was completely shattered, suggesting the terrifying attack she had endured. She was already in a semi-comatose state, her consciousness was unclear, and it was a miracle that she was able to manage to fly back. Lin Tianheng swept his true energy around her before finally letting out a sigh of relief. These are just external injuries, they haven't damaged the underlying structure. Father. Lin Wonking murmured softly. Lin Tianheng quickly said, Kinger, don't say anything, come with me to heal your wounds. No, this matter is very important. Okay, go ahead, I'll do whatever you say. Lin Tianheng said in a deep voice. Seeing his daughter injured like this, he was heartbroken. Lin Wonking's voice trembled, her eyes unfocused. Let the Ancestor put the Oriental mirror. Deliver it to my room. After saying that, her head lolled to the side, and she fainted completely. Lin Tianheng? Although the injuries appeared severe, they were actually mostly external wounds. The armor Lin Wonking wore was made of immortal gold, one of the most precious metals on the primordial continent. Even many great saints and quasi-emperors used it to forge weapons, making it priceless. It shielded Lin Wonking from countless fatal wounds. Thanks to the Lin family's all-out rescue efforts, Lin Wonking woke up not long afterward, even before she had been knocked unconscious by the life-saving palm technique. Lin Wonking opened her eyes and looked around, finding Lin Xian, Lin Tianheng, Lin Wongsun, and others standing by her bedside. It seems everyone is waiting for me to wake up. Sister, I'm so glad you're all right. Lin Wongsun said excitedly, please don't take such risks anymore, I'm so worried about you. Here it is. This is the family's healing room. Lin Tianheng said. Lin Wonking gradually came to her senses and then asked, Ancestor, about that thing of mine. It's already been delivered to your room. Lin Xian said. Lin Wonking's eyes lit up. She gritted her teeth and said, quick, help me back to my room. Lin Xian, Lin Tianheng, Lin Wongsun, I'm numb. Lin Xian said, let's hear about your experience first to see if you successfully completed the mission. It doesn't matter what happens. As Lin Wonking spoke, she struggled to get up. Lin Xian pressed her back onto the bed. You're not in the right state for strenuous exercise. Don't worry, I'll start counting the 2 days I promised you from the moment you can get out of bed. That's great. What would you like to hear? What did you do to make him beat you up like this? It's nothing much, just taking all his savings accumulated over thousands of years. You completed the task excellently. In reality, the process was not as simple as Lin Wonking described. In her early years, she traveled to the North Sea and accidentally discovered the treasure trove of the sage Kunyu, which contained countless treasures collected by the sage Kunyu throughout his life. As is widely known, the sage Kunyu loved collecting rare and precious materials, and it is said that he was even richer than some of the great sages of ancient times. Lin Wonking took out more than 10 Kainkun bags from her armor and handed them to Lin Xian. Lin Xian, why are you giving this to me? I don't know how to use it. Lin Xian casually tossed it to Lin Tianheng. The latter opened the Kainkun bag and glanced inside. Hiss. He gasped in shock. The only way to describe them is incredibly wealthy. A saint's wealth is already astonishing, let alone that of the renowned Saint Cunyu, who is famous for accumulating wealth. The wealth contained in these dozen or so Kainkun bags is almost 1/10 of the Lin family's accumulated wealth over countless years. That's absolutely astonishing. No wonder the sage Cunyu was so determined to hunt down Lin Wonking. However, Lin Wonking later revealed that the injuries on her body were not inflicted by the sage Cunyu. When she slipped into the treasure trove of the Cunyu Saint was not present. She originally only intended to take some of the more valuable treasures, but she accidentally triggered the restrictions set up by the sage Cunyu, trapping herself in the treasure trove and unable to get out. So Lin Wonking had no choice but to go all the way and simply loot all the treasures. They filled more than 10 Kainkun bags, and since there were still some left that couldn't be stored, they simply burned them all. Lin Wonking also wrote a line of text at the location where the treasure was hidden. Lin Wonking was here. After doing all this, Lin Wonking finally broke through the encirclement. It took her a lot of effort to finally escape the treasure trove and manage to return to the Lin family. You did a great job. Lin Xian couldn't help but give a thumbs up. He truly deserves the title of a master of courting death. His skills in doing so have surpassed the world's top level. Thousands of years of accumulated wealth were wiped out in one fell swoop, leaving behind sarcastic words, if they didn't come knocking on their door. Lin Xian could only think that this Cunyu saint was a super Voldemort, a complete coward. He gently patted Lin Wonking's head and smiled. Rest first, we can talk about the rest after you've recovered. Lin Wonking closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. Next, all we need to do is wait for that sage Cunyu to come to us. Lin Xian had barely finished speaking. Boom! An overwhelming aura descended from the sky, suppressing the entire scene. The majesty of a sage shines as brightly as the blazing sun. Lin Wonking, you come out here and face your death. A furious roar came from the distant horizon, carrying boundless killing intent, heading straight for the Lin family's ancestral land. They arrived really quickly. Lin Xian smiled. Lin Tianheng's expression was solemn. Although all of this was within the plan, that was a saint. The majesty of a sage is inviolable. In this era where no great sage appears, sages are the most powerful force. Even the Lin family, a prestigious imperial clan, dares not provoke a sage. Let's go out and meet him. Lin Xian's slightly upturned lips curled into a dazzling smile. Lin Tianheng nodded. He summoned many elders from the family and flew towards the sky above the ancestral land. On the other side, the moment the Lin family sensed the arrival of Saint Cunyu, many spies hidden in the shadows also noticed it. They were all spies sent by various powerful families to observe the situation and gather intelligence, hoping to grasp the truth as soon as possible. The arrival of a sage with such a grand display could not possibly go unnoticed. The realm of saints. At this time of year, it's the sage Cunyu, that scourge of the North Sea. A major change is finally coming. The informants immediately became extremely alert. None of them expected that it would be the Cunyu saint from the North Sea who would ultimately break this balance. It should be noted that the Cunyu saint was always solitary and had no vested interests with the Lin family. His appearance at this time was truly unexpected. What exactly happened? A blue figure appeared from the distant horizon, moving with lightning speed, and arrived above the Lin family's ancestral land in almost an instant. Lin Wonking, come out and face your death. Cunyu saint roared. Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. As soon as he finished speaking, several figures appeared in front of him at the same time. It was the Lin family. Sage Cunyu, what brings you to my Lin family so suddenly? Lin Tianheng smiled. Sage Cunyu gritted his teeth and said, enough nonsense. Hand over Lin Wonking or I'll raise the Lin family to the ground today. He was absolutely furious. Lin Wonking not only took away his wealth accumulated over thousands of years, but she also provocatively left her name behind, showing that she didn't take him, the sage Cunyu, seriously at all. He, the sage Cunyu, has roamed the North Sea for thousands of years. Who dares to underestimate him? Today I will kill Lin Wonking. The sage Cunyu roared in anger. Upon hearing this, everyone's expressions turned rather unpleasant. To declare one's intention to kill the patriarch's daughter in front of him, what's the difference between that and a declaration of war? Even the spies watching from the shadows were astonished. What deep-seated hatred could drive a sage to such drastic measures? Lord Kunyu, have you considered the consequences of your words? Lin Tianhong frowned. The sage Kunyu shouted, I'll say it again. Hand over Lin Wangking, or I will raze the Lin family to the ground today. Don't think that just because your Lin family is an imperial clan, you're someone I should be wary of. If I use all my methods, even an imperial clan will be severely injured. Lin Tianhong said calmly, there's probably some misunderstanding here. Lord Kunyu, you'd better calm down. Sage Kunyu was taken aback upon hearing this. He suddenly realized it. An astonishingly terrifying pressure covered the sky. The entire ancestral land of the Lin family was shrouded in the might of the sage Kunyu. Don't panic. Lin Tianhong gently waved her hand, stopping the crowd from their shock and anger. Suddenly, the Kunyu saint's body swelled up, revealing his true form. A massive whale thousands of feet long with wings on its back, suppressing the void and radiating an incomparably terrifying pressure that even blocked out the sun. True form manifested. Hiss. Everyone gasped. He actually revealed his true form without a word. He's getting serious. The true form of the sage Kunyu manifested, suppressing the void, his voice booming like a bell. Lin family, how dare you covet my Kunyu treasure? You truly have no regard for your own lives. Today I will show the Lin family that not just anyone can be provoked. His massive body was covered in surging scales which surged downwards like a tidal wave, carrying immense true energy. The sky changed color and thunder roared. The might of heaven rolls on, the thunder roars. This attack seemed poised to completely engulf the entire ancestral land of the Lin family. Please, Ancestor, make your move. Lin Tianhong said respectfully, please, Ancestor, make your move. The Lin family members all spoke in unison. Lin Xian strolled out and looked up at the enormous thing above. It's no use who comes today. The entire Lin family will be buried with Lin Wangking. Sage Kunyu shouted. He was going all out, the power of the saint's law permeating the air, aiming to completely annihilate the Lin family. Lin Xian slowly clenched his fist. Take this. Diamond Stone Star Planet fist. The next moment Lin Xian suddenly threw a punch. Boom. In that instant, it seemed as if only this one sound remained in the entire world. A fierce wind rose from the ground, sweeping across the land like a raging storm. Even the semi-saints like Lin Tianhong subconsciously closed their eyes. After a while, the dust settled. Everyone looked up and their faces immediately showed horror. The once colossal body that blotted out the sky was now reduced to half a tail, while the main body had vanished into thin air, completely disappeared as if wiped out by some terrifying force. Dead. Even their souls were obliterated. The mighty Kunyu saint was instantly killed in one strike. Wait, it's going to fall. Even if only half of its tail remains, it is still hundreds of feet long and wide. The saint's mangled body fell from the sky, crashing down like a towering mountain towards the spies who were secretly watching. Everyone was deeply shocked. They dared not linger any longer and fled in panic. The sage Kunyu, who roamed the North Sea for thousands of years, is dead. The news spread rapidly to every corner of the entire primitive continent. Many powerful clans and figures were shocked and even found it hard to believe. This must have been done by a powerful expert at the great sage level or above. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to kill a sage in one blow, especially a saint like Kunyu Saint who has lived for thousands of years must have many trump cards. Even a great saint wouldn't find it so easy to kill him. Yet from the moment he entered the Lin family until his sudden death, only 5 minutes had passed. What exactly happened to the Lin family? Could it be that witch? It doesn't seem like it. I heard it was a young man who made the move. The incident sparked much discussion, with many people even drawing parallels to previously heard intelligence that Emperor Hongyu had been killed by an unidentified man with a single punch. Nobody believed it at first and nobody believes it now. Regardless, the Lin family still stands strong in the world and has ample resources to deal with powerful figures at the Saint realm, which has caused many forces that were trying to take advantage of the situation to abandon their crooked thoughts. Perhaps this is a warning. The Lin family is making an example of someone. The sage Kunyu is truly dead, We cannot follow him to the Yellow Springs. Several days later, the many rumors circulating on the primeval continent have finally subsided. Kunyu manifested his true form and used his power to overwhelm people. Lin Xian killed them all with a single punch and the Lin family perished. The information spread throughout the major families. The Lin family's display of strength finally intimidated the many hidden enemies who were secretly watching. With its overwhelming power, the Lin family told everyone that it had not only not weakened but was even more powerful than others. Even a saint would die if he came. Many forces secretly speculated that the young man who made the move was a rising star secretly cultivated by the Lin family, possessing the power of a great sage. However, Lin Xian, the person involved, has been quite troubled these past few days. Ancestor, please accept me as your disciple. Ancestor, please take me. Why, if you don't accept me, Ancestor, I'll kneel here and never get up. Lin Xian had just opened his eyes early in the morning when he was woken up by Lin Wonking's crying and shouting at the door. This has been going on for 3 days now. Is it never going to end? 3 days have passed since Lin Xian killed the sage Kunyu. Since returning from Lin Wonking's place, Dongfeng Jing has looked like she's lost her soul, her face haggard. Occasionally, you could hear her muttering to herself, saying that she was no longer pure or something. Since recovering from her illness, Lin Wonking has been clamoring for Lin Xian to take her as his apprentice. Little mirror, come and help me get dressed. Lin Xian shouted. With vacant eyes, Dongfeng Jing stepped forward and helped Lin Xian put on his clothes before following him out the door. As soon as they stepped outside, Lin Wonking pounced on him, grabbing Lin Xian's trouser leg tightly and refusing to let go. Grandpa, please take me, She started crying and making a scene, acting as if she wouldn't let go unless you agreed. Lin Xian's lips twitched. This guy is completely insane and the kind that's incurable. When Dongfeng Jing saw Lin Wonking, it was as if he had seen something extremely terrifying. His face turned deathly pale and he retreated repeatedly. Lin Wonksin, Lin Xian called out, Ancestor, I'm here. Lin Wonksin came out of the next room. She had been up for a while, or rather, she had been woken up by her sister. Take your sister away. Lin Xian gave the order, yes. As the saying goes, all things and living beings are interconnected, with each element mutually restraining and generating the other. Lin Wonksin was Lin Wonking's natural enemy. She easily dragged the wailing Lin Wonking away with one hand and the courtyard finally returned to quiet. Judging by the time, it's about time to set off, Lin Xian murmured. The words had barely left his mouth. Lin Tianhong descended from the sky, respectfully saying, Ancestor, everything is ready. It's time to head to Tianlin Academy. Lin Xian nodded slightly. To prevent any persistent individuals from making a desperate gamble, Lin Xian deliberately stayed at the Lin family residence for a while longer. However, judging from the results, most people still had their brains and didn't recklessly cause trouble. There are only 3 days left until the final period of admissions for Tianlin Academy. The pride of all the major families and powerful clans will be heading to Tianlin Academy before the deadline. This will be an unprecedented event, and I'm really worried about letting Zinner go alone. But now that our ancestor has taken the lead, our Lin family is certain to reap great rewards from this trip to the heavenly demon realm. Lin Tianhong said confidently. He directly led out 8 blazing divine steeds from the Dongfeng family, each with strength comparable to a powerful being, barely enough to make a grand display for the patriarch. Lin Tianhong originally planned to have some experts from the family accompany Lin Wonksin, but since the patriarch wanted to go along, there was no need for that trouble. The number of people on this trip will be kept to a minimum. First is Lin Wonksin, who was officially admitted to the hospital. Secondly, there is Dongfeng Jing, who serves as a servant. Secondly, there is Lin Xian, who serves as his personal bodyguard. There were only 3 people. But this was no small feat. Lin Wonksin had been hunted down by the great emperor, and those few who knew the inside story knew that she was a reincarnated witch. Dongfeng Jing, on the other hand, is a talent cultivated by the Dongfeng family to contend for the throne. Half-saint realm. Theoretically, she wasn't qualified to enter the academy since she and Lin Wonksin weren't on the same level. However, Tianlin Academy didn't restrict the cultivation level or age of its servants, and since the Lin family had sealed her cultivation, she could still enter the academy as a servant. Then there's Lin Xian. As the patriarch of the Lin family, his strength and age far exceeded the restrictions for admission, but Lin Xian was able to perfectly conceal his cultivation level. To be precise, it wasn't hidden. Lin Xian originally had no cultivation level. However, in the eyes of the Lin family, Lin Xian was able to conceal his cultivation level as that of an ordinary person. As for Lin Wangqing, go back to your border. Despite the latter's crying, wailing, and tantrums, insisting on going to Tianlin Academy, she ultimately had to abandon the plan after being scolded by Lin Wangxin. Little sister, you must be happy while you're with grandfather. Lin Wangqing tearfully bid farewell to Lin Wangxin. Lin Tianheng's face darkened. He wished he could punch her to death. What kind of creature have I raised? Sis, you should go back now, it's too embarrassing. Lin Wangxin's face twitched. Okay, I'll definitely come see you when I have time. It's okay if you don't come. Wearing a lace-made outfit, Dongfeng Jing hid behind Lin Xian, completely avoiding eye contact with Lin Wangqing. For some reason, she seemed to have developed a psychological aversion to Lin Wangqing. Hold head high. 8 fiery steeds let out long neighs, their flaming hooves churning as they pulled a carriage made of black iron and refined gold into the air, heading towards the Tianlin Academy in the central region. Lin Xian turned to look out the window, his calm gaze barely concealing his excitement. In the 10,000th year since I came into this world, this long journey is finally about to begin. Wait for me, I came, I saw, I conquered. 8 fiery steeds galloped through the sky like shooting stars streaking across the heavens. Lin Xian and Lin Wangxin sat upright in the carriage. Dongfeng Jing brewed tea with remarkable skill, and after a few days of practice, she quickly mastered the art of tea preparation thanks to her astonishing comprehension. She learned exactly how to brew all kinds of tea to make them taste good. It's fair to say that she is now a very competent maid. But Dongfeng Jing quietly pulled down her skirt to cover her thighs, which were exposed between the skirt and her white stockings, and a hint of shyness involuntarily appeared on her face. A maid it is, why wear such strange clothes? How could I, Dongfeng Jing, have fallen to such a state? Calm down, endure the humiliation, and I will regain my freedom in just 10 years. Dongfeng Jing gritted his teeth, the veins on his hand holding the teapot bulging. Little mirror, pour some tea, Lin Xian said lazily. Yes. Dongfeng Jing immediately responded. With practiced ease, she brewed a cup of tea and respectfully offered it to her with a sweet smile. Master, your tea is ready. Please enjoy. Very good. Lin Xian nodded in satisfaction. You have a bright future, keep up the good work and you'll definitely become the world's #1 maid. Oriental mirror, who the hell wants to be a maid? I'm going to be the woman who vies for the throne of the great emperor. Dongfeng Jinki's teeth were itchy. However, she was also somewhat helpless since she had arrived too late. If she had another 100 years, she might have actually been able to challenge for the throne of the great emperor. But just recently, the great emperor Hongyu was born, completely cutting off everyone's path to becoming emperor. At this rate, perhaps the only way to save her is to wait until her cultivation reaches the quasi-emperor level and then be sealed away for 10,000 years. Ha! Lin Wangxin suddenly let out a soft gasp. What's wrong? Lin Xian asked, opening his eyes. It looks like there's a fight going on down below. Lin Wangxin sensed them briefly. If I'm not mistaken, there should be 8 people, 2 at the Dao Palace realm and 7 at the Four Extremes realm. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. The world's realms are divided into 4 major realms: the Sea of Wheels, the Palace of Dao, the Four Extremes, and the Dragon Transformation. Above that are the great powers and the kings. People like Lin Wangqing and Dongfeng Jing have surpassed the level of a king and are called half-saints. Even stronger beings are sages like Kunyu, who were already supreme beings in an era when great sages did not appear. They are following the path of using their own bodies as a seed, achieving sainthood through the physical body. Ancestor, should we go down and take a look? Lin Wangxin asked. What do you know those people? Lin Wangxin nodded slightly and said, 2 of them are from the Ximen family. Both the Lin and Ximen families are imperial clans from the eastern region and have been on good terms for generations. I've met those two once before, and judging from the timeline, they should also be enrolling at Tianlin Academy. Then let's go take a look. Lin Xian snapped his fingers. Hey, drive the car down. Huff. The fiery steed let out a neigh, immediately turned around and sped downwards. Kid, stop struggling and surrender. A group of bandits dressed in black surrounded the group, their eyes filled with murderous intent as they stared menacingly at the young couple. Young master and young lady, please find a chance to break through. Even if I die today, I will rescue you. The servant standing in front of the two men, his hair gray, gripped a steel knife tightly and was panting heavily. With his cultivation at the peak of the Four Extremes realm, he would be considered a minor expert even in the outside world. However, facing a whole group of experts of the same level as Wu Ming, and also having to protect the young master and young lady of the Dao Palace realm behind him, he was simply overwhelmed. Uncle Fu. The girl pursed her lips, nervously surveying the enemies around her. She and her brother went to Tianlin Academy to register, but unexpectedly they were attacked on the way. These people weren't after money or women. They were there solely to kill the two men. Who are you people? Who sent you? I'll pay double. The young man said in a cold voice. The leader of the men in black sneered, Heh, the Ximen family's money, you might have the life to take it, but you might not have the life to spend it. We're not stupid. It seems that someone is indeed secretly directing you, the young man said. The man in black's expression changed slightly and he roared, still talking tough even when you're about to die, brothers, attack. Kill this old B*********. D. Go. The crowd surged forward. Uncle Fu was no match for the four men and was quickly and completely overwhelmed by them, finding himself in grave danger. Several of the bandits bypassed Uncle Fu and charged at the two men. Little sister stepped back. The young man acted swiftly, raising his hand and unleashing a palm strike that shimmered with a wondrous azure light. The 9 forms of sea suppression. This is a move from the Ximen family, everyone be careful. The leader of the bandits shouted. The second form of the 9 forms of Zhenhai. Brother, I'll help you too. The young man and woman attacked together, their Dao Palace realm cultivation level directly confronting the bandit leader who was at the 4th extreme realm, and they actually held their own. All of you charge, kill them, the bandit leader roared. Upon hearing this, the crowd immediately rushed forward, overwhelming the young man and woman with sheer numbers, giving them no chance to even make a move. Compared to these people, they have far less practical experience and they become flustered when there are many of them. Young master, young lady, run. Uncle Fu exclaimed in surprise. You old codger, you still have time to worry about others. You'd better die too. 2 fists can't fight 4 hands. With numerous attacks coming, Uncle Fu was powerless to fight back. Soon he was covered in injuries and could no longer fight. They were even more powerless to protect the two of them. Could it be that my brother and I, siblings, are destined to perish at the hands of such petty villains today? The young man gritted his teeth and said, Prepare to die. The bandit leader laughed and slashed at the young man's neck with his palm as a knife. Stop! A calm yet authoritative voice came from above the crowd. Everyone froze, and when they looked up, their expressions changed drastically. 8 fiery steeds neighed loudly, pulling a chariot forged from black iron and refined gold. Their hooves pounded the air, carrying scorching flames, and they descended from the sky, crushing down upon the crowd. It's the Liang Dongfeng family. The young man blurted out. These fiery steeds can only be tamed by the eastern families of the eastern region. Each one, once fully grown, possesses combat power comparable to a powerful being. Only family heads are worthy of riding such divine steeds. The fiery steed, could it be from the Dongfeng family? The man in black's expression changed drastically, a thoughtful look appearing in his eyes. Just then, everyone noticed a dark figure leaping down from the carriage. Swoosh. Boom. Like a meteorite, it crashed heavily to the ground, raising countless clouds of dust. Cough, cough, cough. Holy crap, why is there so much dirt? Everyone couldn't help but cough, and the tense atmosphere quickly became uncontrollable. And just then, an incredibly arrogant and domineering voice came from within the smoke. Listen up, you people inside. You are now surrounded. Lay down your weapons, and we will treat prisoners of war well. The man in black looked completely bewildered. This is F asterisk 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 G. When the dust settles, before everyone's eyes appeared Lin Xian's tall and handsome figure. So handsome. The girl, shielded behind her brother, couldn't help but blurt out. The young man's face darkened. He watched Lin Xian intently, not letting his guard down. Just then the men in black said in a sinister tone, "Sir, this is a personal matter between us. We advise you all not to meddle. I'm going to take charge. What can you do about it?" Lin Xian said calmly. The leader of the men in black's expression darkened slightly. "If you insist." Before he could finish speaking, the fiery steed pulled the carriage to a slow stop, and Dongfang Jing and Lin Wangxin stepped out of the carriage. The leader of the men in black casually glanced at the two of them, and just as he was about to look away, he suddenly widened his eyes and stared at Dongfang Jing, who was wearing a lace miniskirt-made outfit. Holy crap, I didn't see that wrong, did I? That woman in lingerie, could she be Dongfang Jing, a semi-saint from the Dongfang family? I'm determined to get involved, so what? Lin Xian said calmly. Leader of the men in black, his brain crashed. Is that really an oriental mirror? Judging from the array of 8 fiery steeds pulling the chariot and their appearance, it is undoubtedly Dongfang Jing. But why? Why would she wear such strange clothes and stand there like a servant? There are too many suspicious points, but none of that is the main point. The real point is that they can command those 8 fiery divine steeds. Each of those steeds is comparable in strength to a powerful being, and they are definitely not people like them who can handle them. In other words, the two sides are not even in the same league. If you insist on intervening, then we will. The leader of the men in black paused for a moment, then said, "Then let's go." Boss. The other men in black looked puzzled. They'd chickened out already. "Shut up, let's go." The leader of the men in black, his face dark, gave an order and led his men away. But just then, the young man surrounded by them suddenly shouted, "Senior, please don't let them escape. The Ximen family will reward you handsomely if you capture them alive." Lin Xian glanced at the young man, but neither spoke nor moved. The leader of the men in black watched both sides with a serious expression. After confirming that Lin Xian had no intention of making a move, he led his men away as quickly as possible. Lin Wangxin, ASKED Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter Chinese letter. Ancestor, why aren't you making a move? Why should I intervene? Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. I came to rescue people and I've already done that, that's enough. That's true. Lin Wangxin scratched her head, feeling that what the ancestor said made a lot of sense. Soon, the men in black were gone. The young man's lips twitched slightly, but he ultimately sighed, stood up and said, "Thank you, senior. I will surely repay your kindness in the future." Lin Xian nodded slightly. The young man paused for a moment, then asked, "May I ask if you are from the Dongfeng family and are you heading to Tianlin Academy?" "We do plan to go to Tianlin Academy, but we're not from the Dongfeng family." Lin Xian pointed to Lin Wangxin behind him and said, "Her name is Lin Wangxin. She sensed the situation here and sent me down to rescue people." Lin Wangxin. The young man looked slightly surprised. In fact, he knew Lin Wangxin. But then he thought of the many pieces of information that had been circulating on the primal continent recently. Lin Wangqing, the youngest daughter of the Qingshuan Lin family in the eastern region, is the reincarnation of the Ice Witch who ravaged the primordial continent 30,000 years ago. For this reason, even Emperor Hongyu took action to hunt him down. I never expected to see him here. He subconsciously swallowed, forcing a smile. "A pleasure to meet you, a pleasure to meet you. I am Ximen Qing, from the Ximen family." He hadn't finished speaking. Lin Xian nearly choked on his own saliva. "What did you say your name was?" "I am Ximen Qing. Is there a problem?" Ximen Qing asked in confusion. "This is a big problem, bro." Lin Xian steadied himself, then turned to look at the girl hiding behind Ximen Qing. "Where is she? She wouldn't be called Pan Jinlian, would she?" "Who is Pan Jinlian?" Ximen Qing looked completely bewildered. "She is my younger sister, Ximen Yue. We are both preparing to go to Tianlin Academy." "Fine. It's all right. Lin Xian waved his hand, skipping over this absurd topic. Ximen Qing nudged Ximen Yue behind him. The latter then stepped forward and said shyly to Lin Xian, "Thank you so much for saving us, senior. We can never repay your kindness, so we can only repay you with our bodies." Lin Xian, Ximen Qing, Lin Wangxin, Oriental Mirror. Everyone looked on with question marks, and Ximen Yue realized that she had accidentally blurted out her true feelings. There's no way around it, Lin Xian is just too handsome. The moment I saw him, I couldn't help but think, he's the one for me in this life. She quickly waved her hand and said, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. What I meant was that I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Don't call me senior anymore, Lin Xian looked disgusted. Just call me Lin Xian. At this moment, the old man whom Ximen Qing and Ximen Yue called Uncle Fu helped Lin Xian up to him. He said respectfully, thank you all for your help. The Dongfang family is deeply grateful for your kindness. The Dongfang family, you've got it wrong, we're from the Lin family. Lin Xian said, but. Uncle Fu was taken aback. He recognized Dongfang Jing and the 8 fiery steeds which were well known throughout the entire primitive continent. But then he suddenly realized something and his pupils contracted sharply. It is said that some time ago the head of the Dongfang family, for reasons unknown, went to the Lin family with a sage. However, the final result was not good. Some even claimed to have witnessed the head of the Dongfang family being knocked unconscious and thrown out. Even the sages of the Eastern family were no exception. Considering all this, the 8 fiery steeds and the strangely dressed Dongfang Jing don't seem so puzzling anymore. What they were witnessing was the most perplexing mystery of the primeval continent. Uncle Fu immediately changed his tune, saying, the great kindness of the Lin family will surely be repaid by the Ximen family in the future. Right. Ximen Qing nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Ximen Yue blinked and stared intently at Lin Xian, making the latter somewhat embarrassed. Girl, I know I'm handsome, but you don't have to keep staring at me like that, do you? At this moment, Lin Wangxin suddenly said, since everyone is going to Tianlin Academy, why don't we go together? This, while Ximen Qing hesitated, Ximen Yue nodded repeatedly, saying, yes, yes. I'm exhausted from walking for so long, thank you. Ximen Qing. Where are you tired? We flew all the way here okay. However, Ximen Qing was also worried about potential attacks along the way, so he nodded and said, then thank you very much. At Lin Wangxin's enthusiastic invitation, Ximen Qing and Ximen Yue boarded the carriage. However, Fu Bo, persuaded by Ximen Qing, returned the way he came. He had suffered serious injuries and was no longer fit to continue following the group. Regarding security issues, with Lin Xian here, even if the sky falls, he can hold it up. Although there are only 3 days left until the reporting date, the journey from the eastern region to the central region is not too far. Especially with 8 flaming steeds comparable to powerful beings pulling the chariot, the speed was even greater. After about a day and a night, the group had crossed the border of the central region and were about to arrive at Tianlin Academy. Along the way, the group had got to know each other a little better. Lin Xian originally thought that Ximen Qing was just an ordinary member of the Ximen family. However, after asking around, he revealed that he was actually a direct descendant of the Ximen family, and in terms of status, he was on par with Lin Wangxin. The identities of those who attacked us earlier are highly suspicious. Ximen Qing speculated they didn't use any distinctive moves, but they were very familiar with the Ximen family's techniques. This means they must have a powerful family backing them. Perhaps some imperial family is trying to ambush us. Brother, what do you mean? Ximen Yue asked. Speaking of imperial families that have a grudge against the Ximen family, the Beihaiao family should be considered, but I think. The brother and sister discussed the real culprit without any hesitation. Meanwhile, Lin Xian also inquired about this information from Lin Wangxin. Does the Ximen family have a grudge against the Ao family? Ancestor, do you know the full name of the Ximen family? Lin Wangxin whispered, it's the Ximen family of Zhenhai. 10,000 years ago, the North Sea was in chaos, with sea creatures invading the land and causing immense suffering, especially in the coastal areas, which were veritable hell on earth. The great Emperor Zhenhai was born to address this need, single-handedly suppressing numerous forces in the North Sea. Among them, the most powerful imperial family, the Ao family, suffered the most severe losses. Although they dared not act openly while the Zhenhai emperor was alive, the hatred between them surfaced after his death. Lin Xian suddenly realized, I see, the title Emperor Zhenhai alone tells you that he is inextricably linked to the North Sea. Given their familial feud, it was only natural for them to send someone to assassinate a direct descendant of the Ximen family. Lin Xian yawned, indicating that he was not interested in these things. What family, what blood feud? He didn't care. After all, there was no problem in this world that he couldn't solve with his life-saving palm strike. If so, then give me another slap. At that moment, Lin Xian suddenly felt someone grab his collar from behind. He turned his head and saw Dongfang Jing staring at him with a conflicted expression. "Are you constipated?" Lin Xian asked, puzzled. Dongfang Jing's face flushed red instantly. "What happened?" "Could you lower me down a little bit?" "Ahem. We're almost at Tianlin Academy. What are you going to do?" "I am. Speak." Dongfang Jing's face flushed red as she gritted her teeth and said, "I need to use the restroom." Lin Xian said casually, "You need to pee." "Just say so, your stammering made me think you were constipated." Dongfeng Jing. She truly wanted to kill Lin Xian. Unfortunately, she couldn't win. The blazing steed descended from the sky and landed in the desolate wilderness. "We are very close to Tianlin Academy. We can even see the tall buildings of Tianlin Academy from the air. It will take about half an hour to reach the academy. However, as the saying goes, everyone has 3 urgent needs. It's not like we'd let Dongfang Jing wet her skirt in public. After all, that dress is a one-time thing, and if it gets dirty, there's no way to change or wash it. I'm going to the restroom. You're not allowed to peek." Dongfang Jing said, blushing. "I'm not interested in peeping at the maids using the toilet. Well, actually, I am quite interested. If you insist on letting me watch, it's not something I can't consider. Just don't peek." Dongfang Jingfei was furious. At the semi-saint realm, one absorbs the essence of the sun and moon and no longer needs to eat human grains. However, now that she has lost her cultivation, she cannot avoid these normal physiological phenomena of eating, drinking, and excretion. This made her very embarrassed. She stormed off, running half a mile in one breath, completely out of Lin Xian's and the other's sight. As for Lin Xian, he planned to sneak a peek. Unfortunately, Lin Wangxin saw through his plan and held Lin Xian back tightly, refusing to let him go no matter what she said. Have no choice? Lin Xian glanced at Ximen Qing and Ximen Yue, who were both quite embarrassed at the moment. "I don't know what to say." Ximen Qing thought for a moment and decided to break the awkward silence. "Miss Lin Wangxin, I've been curious since earlier. If I'm not mistaken, that maid should be Dongfang Jing from the Dongfang family, right?" "That's right." Lin Wangxin nodded slightly. "Why is she, here?" Ximen Qing used a more euphemistic way of putting it. "From what I saw on the way here, Dongfang Jing was acting as a maid, following Lin Xian and Lin Wangxin." This was simply unbelievable, considering that Dongfang Jing was a promising talent cultivated by the Dongfang family to contend for the throne, and she was also known for her proud and arrogant nature. But when she addressed Lin Xian, she always called him master. And that suspicious lace-maid outfit, Ximen Qing suspected. No, there must be something more to this. If it's inconvenient to say, then never mind. Ximen Qing subtly indicated that he had no intention of gathering information but was merely curious about it. Lin Xian casually replied, "There's nothing inconvenient about it. Xiao Jingzi is my maid. It's normal for her to be by my side." Ximen Qing stood at attention and asked respectfully, "May I ask your honorable name?" "My name is Lin Xian, and as my name suggests." "Oh wait, I'm Lin Wangxin's personal bodyguard." Lin Xian remembered his true identity and immediately changed his tune. "Ximen Qing, why would a bodyguard like you bring a maid along? Has the Lin family's integrity fallen to this level?" He had a certain guess in his mind. It was said that the Dongfang family and the Lin family had a bad falling out some time ago, but in the end, the Dongfang family withdrew. The Lin family has demonstrated an astonishing level of resources and expertise to resist the great emperor, to eliminate the Eastern family, and to kill the sage. After this series of actions, no one would doubt the Lin family's strength anymore. However, of all these people, the one he couldn't understand the most was Lin Xian. On the surface, he was just an ordinary person. But the truth is definitely not that simple. Ximen Qing fell into thought. Suddenly, a gasp of surprise came from afar. "Help!" Everyone was horrified. The sound came from the very direction Dongfang Jing had left in. "Wait for me here." Lin Xian said. Just as Ximen Qing was about to say something, a gust of wind suddenly swept in front of him and a figure darted away into the distance like lightning. In an instant, Lin Xian disappeared without a trace. That's fast. Ximen Qing's expression turned serious. With such speed, one was definitely not an ordinary person. Brother, don't we need to go and help? Ximen Yue couldn't help but ask. She was somewhat worried that Lin Xian might be in danger. Lin Wangxin said softly, "Don't worry, no matter what danger we encounter, Lao, Lin Xian can handle it. If even Lin Xian can't handle this, then our going there will only be a hindrance. This area is already considered part of Tianlin Academy. It should be quite safe." Ximen Qing frowned slightly. There shouldn't be any danger here. Maybe he just forgot to bring tissues. Lin Wangxin suddenly had a whimsical idea. Ximen Qing. Well, that's possible, yelling for help because you didn't have any toilet paper, that's a bit outrageous. After Lin Wangxin finished speaking, she was stunned. Having been by Lin Xian's side for so long, even her thought process had been influenced. But just then, her gaze suddenly sharpened and she exclaimed in alarm, "Watch out behind you. Little sister." Without hesitation, Ximen Qing launched a fierce attack on Ximen Yue behind him. The 9 forms of Zhenhai Form 1. A beam of azure light condensed into a spike and struck Ximen Yue. The latter instinctively crouched down to avoid it. The beam of light pierced the writhing monster behind Ximen Yue, who twisted and burrowed into the ground, disappearing without a trace. They ran away. Ximen Qing was still in shock. What was that? Was something behind me just now? I'm alarmed, Ximen Yue said. If I'm not mistaken, those should be red vines. Lin Wangxin frowned slightly and said, "Those red vines just now sprouted from the ground, trying to attack Ximen Yue. No, they were more like tentacles. Red tentacles, that sounds disgusting. I've never heard of such a thing." All three were still somewhat shaken. The attack had come too suddenly. The tentacles had emerged from the ground and almost touched Ximen Yue. No one knows what will happen if you get entangled by those tentacles. Even with Ximen Yue's cultivation at the Dao Palace realm, it's hard to guarantee that nothing bad will happen. At that moment, Lin Xian's figure appeared in the distance. Lin Wangxin breathed a sigh of relief almost imperceptibly. She was about to go to meet them, but then she stopped. Because Lin Xian was carrying Dongfang Jing on his shoulder and Dongfang Jing was soaking wet, her lace-made outfit covered in sticky fluid, as if she had been swallowed and spat out by a giant frog. Oh my god. Lin Wangxin couldn't bear to look at it anymore. Dongfeng Jing was carried on Lin Xian's shoulder, her eyes vacant as she muttered to herself, but no one could understand what she was saying. Ximen Qing, however, keenly noticed that Lin Xian was holding a red tentacle which was still wriggling. That's amazing. Lin Xian asked with some surprise, "The octopuses here are actually amphibians and they can even burrow underground." Ugh. I don't think that's an octopus. Ximen Qing's lips twitched and he stepped forward to ask if he could take a closer look at the strange creature. Lin Xian readily agreed. He went to check on the situation and saw Dongfeng Jing tightly bound by tentacles that emerged from the ground. Dongfeng Jing was powerless to fight against the tentacles and could only resist in vain, resulting in an extremely fierce scene. Lin Xian couldn't help but watch for a while longer, just a little while. Finally, seeing that Dongfeng Jing seemed about to be dragged underground by those tentacles, he decided to intervene. He ripped the tentacles out of the ground by the roots. These tentacles are very strange. It has no brain or mouthparts and its entire body is made up of tentacles. In other words, it seems to have no other function than dragging people underground. Perhaps it can strangle a person to death, just like a snake. The power and strength of these tentacles have reached the standard of the Dao Palace realm. Ximen Qing said in a solemn tone. Although it may not sound powerful, it is actually quite terrifying for most people. The power of a Dao Palace realm cultivator exceeds 1,000 jin. Ordinary people are simply powerless to resist. Judging from everything that just happened, there was more than one of these tentacle creatures. Ximen Qing asked in bewilderment, how can such a terrifying thing exist around Tianlin Academy? Why hasn't the Academy done anything about it? Perhaps this is just a test, Lin Wangxin pondered. Impossible, those qualified to enter Tianlin Academy are all the chosen ones. There's no need to try to fool them with something so disgusting. Ximen Qing said with disgust. Lin Xian wholeheartedly agreed. That's right, these kinds of monsters should be kept in enclosures. How can they be allowed to roam freely? They got Dongfeng Jing's maid outfit all dirty. Ximen Qing, okay, although the ways of expressing it are different, they at least mean the same thing. Ximen Qing pondered, I think we should head to Tianlin Academy as soon as possible to report to the elders. That should be our priority, everything else can wait. I'll listen to my elder brother, Ximen Yue said obediently. However, the fiery steed was Lin Wangxin's personal vehicle, and the plan would only be approved if she gave her consent. Lin Wangxin didn't speak but turned to look at Lin Xian. The latter was currently heartbroken over the maid outfit, regretting not making more. Then he felt a surge of anger. Those damned tentacles dared to taint his pure and innocent image of the lace miniskirt maid outfit. It was an unforgivable sin. I'm sworn enemies with the tentacle monster, Lin Xian said with extreme grief and indignation. Lin Wangxin nodded and said, all right, let's set off then, heading straight for Tianlin Academy. Hey. Ximen Qing glanced at Lin Wangxin and Lin Xian discreetly. He then noticed that Lin Wangxin would listen to Lin Xian's opinions, and in fact, Lin Xian was basically the one who made the decisions. This is absolutely not normal. A man whose background seemed unclear claimed to be Lin Wangxin's personal bodyguard, but Lin Wangxin obeyed him completely. Moreover, although he looks very young, his strength. Ximen Qing had some ideas in his mind, but he couldn't verify them, so he could only think about them later. Soon, the 8 fiery steeds set off again, their hooves surging with flames, pulling the carriage into the sky, galloping towards the distant Tianlin Academy. Because Dongfeng Jing's original maid outfit was soiled by the tentacle monster, Lin Xian left her naked. Yeah, right. Although Lin Xian really wanted to do it, Lin Wangxin strongly opposed it. In the end, Dongfeng Jing changed back into her original outfit and her entire demeanor changed, becoming dashing and radiant. This action made Dongfeng Jing feel a sense of gratitude towards Lin Wangxin. Although Lin Wangxin is Lin Wangqing's biological younger sister, the two have completely opposite personalities. The fiery steed neighed loudly, its hooves pounding the sky. Half an hour later. Ximen Qing, his gaze fixed on the scene below, tensed. We've arrived. Everyone looked out the window. Unlike the school surrounded by walls that they had imagined, what lay before them was a majestic mountain range that seemed to float in the clouds. The mountains are covered with lush trees dotted with vermilion pavilions, and a 1,000-foot waterfall cascades down where cranes fly in pairs among the trees. This is Tianlin Academy. Tianlin Academy has a very long history, dating back to the era of the 9 Nether Emperors 20,000 years ago. Legend has it that in ancient times, an evil dragon roamed the mountains, draining the earth's energy. For tens of thousands of miles around, not a blade of grass grew, the mountains and rivers withered. The once prosperous central plains became a wasteland due to the depletion of water resources. The great emperor of the 9 netherworlds descended with imperial might to rid the people of this scourge, suppressing the evil dragon beneath the mountains and nourishing the earth with its blood and flesh. 10,000 years have passed, and this once ruinous site has finally regained its former vitality. Tianlin Academy was built on these ruins. Of course, these are all just legends. We need to land. Air travel is not permitted in the area ahead. Ximen Qing reminded him. 19 years old at the Sea of Wheels realm. In front of the gate of Tianlin Academy, the elder in charge of the inspection spoke indifferently. A young man pleaded, Elder, I'm only 19 years old. I'm sure I'll break through to the Dao Palace realm before I turn 20. Please let me in. Rolled. Without any mercy, the elder flicked his sleeve, creating a gust of wind that sent the young man flying hundreds of feet away amidst his cries of alarm. The onlookers were all horrified. The elder glanced around and said calmly, I'll repeat myself, the minimum admission standards for Tianlin Academy are under 20 years old and having reached the Dao Palace realm cultivation level. If either of these conditions is not met, you will not be considered for admission. Next one come up. A voluptuous young woman stepped forward trembling. The elder glanced at her. Hold out your hand. Yes. The girl replied nervously. She reached out her hand, which the elder grabbed. Amidst a gasp, the elder nodded in satisfaction. 18 years old, first level of the Dao Palace realm meets the requirements. The elder casually took out a black token and handed it to the girl. Go to the back and pay your tuition. You are now an outer disciple of Tianlin Academy. Very good. The girl beamed with joy, clutching the tacky black sign as if it were a priceless treasure. The way people looked at the girl was filled with envy, jealousy, and longing. The next moment, the elder shouted. At that moment, a commotion broke out in the square outside the gate. It's the third prince of the Central Region's nomadic tribe. Oh my god. Make way, quickly make way for the prince. A vacuum appeared in the dense crowd, and what immediately came into view was a lifelike and handsome man. The man wore a white robe with no extra adornments, yet his presence was undeniable. The man stretched his hand out into the air. The crowd was puzzled. What was he doing? The next moment, a melodious chime rang out and a golden shadow landed on the man's arm like lightning. That's the mysterious golden dragon sparrow. Someone exclaimed. The Xuanjin dragon sparrow was a notorious and terrifying creature in ancient times, possessing immense power. Didn't I tell you not to follow me? The man said reproachfully. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The golden dragon bird sang softly. The man shouted, go back, don't sneak out again. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The Xuanjin dragon sparrow shook its head, flapped its wings and soared into the sky. Many people gasped in shock. To actually keep the Xuanjin dragon sparrow as a pet, the amount of blood and flesh it is fed each year must be worth millions of spirit stones. Such extravagance is simply unimaginable. Some people wondered, the shepherd clan? What is their origin? Are they also an imperial clan? Fool, the Mu family of Jiyu is practically an emperor in this central region. A bystander whispered rebuke. Even Tianlin Academy has to defer to the Mu family of Jiyu. They are an enormous behemoth. So that's how it is. The man, known as the third prince, was surrounded by guards like stars around the moon. His face was sculpted with distinct features, his gaze was calm, and his hands were behind his back as he walked step by step toward the gate of Tianlin Academy. The elder in charge of the testing swallowed hard and said respectfully, so it's the third prince. No testing is needed. You are an inner disciple invited by Tianlin Academy. As the elder spoke, he reached out and handed over a simple white jade-like waist token. The third prince nodded slightly. His manner didn't resemble that of someone accepting a token, rather it was more like a high-ranking emperor bestowing a reward upon a subject. The elder said, according to the rules, even inner disciples can only bring one guard and one servant. The third prince said calmly, I need no guards, I alone am enough to stand tall in this world and crush everything. As for servants, aren't there enough in the courtyard to go around? Everyone was horrified. What arrogant words, to actually refer to so many of the most promising talents in Tianlin Academy as servants. Such arrogance and prestige is probably only found in the princes of the Mu family in the central region. Third prince, please be admitted to the hospital. The elder said respectfully. His humble attitude, in stark contrast to his previous demeanor, drew disdain from many. There was nothing they could do. The imperial family was inherently superior. For the third prince, Tianlin Academy was like his backyard, a place he could come and go as he pleased. The third prince nodded slightly, dismissed the many guards and servants following him, and was about to step into the gate of Tianlin Academy. Sudden, a long, screeching cry came from the sky, followed by intense, scorching heat. The crowd looked surprised and quickly moved aside. Even the third prince couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. The next moment, 8 fiery steeds pulling a chariot made of black iron and refined gold descended from the sky amidst a hurricane. The horses' hooves pounded the ground, even melting bronze stones and setting the air ablaze. The fiery steed. My god, it's the Dongfeng family. What a grand display! Isn't it said that only patriarchs and holy sons use the fiery steed to pull their carriages? The crowd was buzzing with discussion, creating quite a lively atmosphere. This pomp and circumstance is in no way inferior to that of the third prince and may even surpass it. The third prince's lips twitched. Just then, the carriage door suddenly swung open. Ximen Qing and Ximen Yue stepped off the carriage side by side. Isn't this someone from the Ximen family? Strangeness. Everyone was surprised and puzzled. The Ximen family and the Dongfeng family had never had a close relationship, and this fiery divine steed was the Dongfeng family's most prized treasure. Why would they so easily allow outsiders to ride it? Immediately afterwards, another figure stepped out of the car. Hiss. A series of hissing sounds filled the air. Long, straight legs, a slender waist that could be encircled with one hand, and towering, majestic breasts. And most strikingly, those cold, shattered pupils. Oriental mirror, it's actually Dongfeng Jing. Why is she here? Could it be that she's also going to enter Tianlin Academy? Impossible, she doesn't meet the requirements. Everyone was astonished, for Dongfeng Jing was a half-saint, stronger than everyone present combined. Before everyone could confirm, another figure stepped out of the carriage. This caused quite a stir among everyone. The later someone appears, the more distinguished their status. It's easy to understand why Dongfeng Jing is ranked after Ximen Qing, but there's someone even more distinguished than Dongfeng Jing. Could it be the head of the Dongfeng family himself who has come here? However, when everyone saw the figure clearly, they understood. Lin Xian, although she herself is not very strong, the recent upheavals on the primordial continent began with this girl. Legend has it that she is the reincarnation of the Ice Witch from 30,000 years ago. Many people broke out in a cold sweat. Such a terrifying figure was actually going to enter Tianlin Academy. Would they really be allowed in? But just then, everyone suddenly noticed that there was another figure behind Lin Xian. In an instant, everyone's eyes widened. That was none other than a handsome young man. He had thick, jet-black hair, a pair of bright, piercing eyes, a refined and elegant appearance, and features as distinct as a meticulously sculpted work of art. His angular face was exceptionally handsome. What's most striking is the slight upward curve at the corner of his mouth. So handsome. Many girls blurted it out. Before anyone could react, the young man suddenly waved his hand in all directions. Comrades, you've worked hard.